They reassume.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. Tonight's live watch, Nancy Guthrie's 5 p.m. ransom deadline. We are live for it.
Talk to me about what you saw yesterday, because you've been on scene. You're the one, the audience probably knows, but you're the one who found the blood, the droplets of blood still left outside of the front door, the one of the news media. Obviously, we believe the cops had this, but they turned the house back over to the family and they left it unguarded. And you went on the doorstep like a good old fashioned shoe leather reporter and found the actual evidence, which was shocking to see. And then, Brian, they reassumed custody of the house yesterday.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. I was just out there, I'd been out there for like 36 hours just waiting to see if anything happens. And the Guthries had hired private security to come out and just sit in the driveway. So we were used to seeing them. But then all of a sudden around.
Wow. Okay. So I was wondering that. So there we got a really big clue here. The Guthries hired private security to come and sit out in the driveway. And what's interesting about that is that they weren't sitting out there before Brian Enton got there. So he doesn't make that, known. Hey, they basically hired private security because I walked up to the door and acted like I needed to knock on the door, knowing that nobody was inside the door.
But then all of a sudden around 4:30, all of these deputies drive down the street in unmarked pickup trucks and in like a big evidence van. And then they all got out of, there were others that got out of a minivan. And at first I thought they were FBI, but I do think they were local sheriff's deputies. They were in just plain clothing. And all of a sudden I got this video. They start putting the crime scene tape back up. And they all get out of the car and we put our drone up right away because it's hard to really see what's going on because it's the house is kind of.
What do you mean we put our drone up right away? You called earlier, right? To make sure that it was okay.
Set back and there's all the.
Look at how like they're just like I hope that if there's one thing that Savannah Guthrie sees from this, right? Guthrie sees from this is that, wow, how people just embellish shit. Okay. I was never down in Delphi with my camera out, walking to the trial every morning, telling you guys something that just was not there. Like, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God. And then this is what happened. This is embarrassing.
Cactuses. And we could see that they were searching the area around the house, but then also they were going in and out of the garage with evidence bags, bringing things out. And it looked like we were trying to see through the windows. There was one room in the front of the house that they were definitely in the entire time.
Looking to see through what? I don't think you need to see through no windows. You had a drone up in the air. Like, this is insanity. Insanity to listen to this shit. Insanity. Admit what you were doing. What do you mean? We're parked out there. We're the paparazzi, motherfucker. Okay. But hey, you know what? I'm here to talk about it. And we have a deadline to meet. But let me tell you something. They are doing their jobs. They are processing a scene that, guess what? You can go back to as many times as you want. Just like the sheriff said, maybe I should have kept the crime scene tape up, kept y'all motherfuckers out. Okay? You know what I believe in? I believe in you're allowed to have your sources, right? And then what you should do with your sources is if a source tells you something, you should look into it. You should say, okay, here, how can I be creative? Like, hey, go and get, this information because, blah, 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 right? That's not what I see here. I see just a whole bunch of sensationalism and money making motherfuckers. Okay. That's what you see. Okay. Because this is what sells, right?
And they were there. Yeah, there's our shot of the.
This is your video, by the way, as you're speaking, we're showing of the garage.
Yeah.
You got this with your drone. Keep
That's
going.
the garage, yeah. And so I think they knew what they were after because it all.
I think they knew what they were after. Well, let me tell you something. If I went off of what Brian Enton thought in his gut, what people were after, okay, holy shit. We would not eat. We would not eat. You know what that term is? Like, we would not break bread, motherfucker. We would not eat as the athletes do it. I'm feeding on your ass. Okay? We would not eat. We would all starve. Listen, they did it so good today in the press conference. They were so transparent. Transparent because we know that you guys are on our asses, right? Isn't that what the FBI said? We know that you're here. We see that you're watching our every move. You probably got more motherfucking cameras out here than we do. We set up an FBI poll camera. You probably got 10 of them, right? Just the audacity, though, to come out here and get on Megyn Kelly and talk about this shit in this way. Look at what he's looking at. This is a video.
All seemed just so cool.
That's his iPad, and I call it an iPad. There it is. Look at the mode in flight. But they have a drone up. Okay, who'd you get tipped off from that they were going there to do what? Oh wait, we know what they were after.
Coordinated because they put the tape up. They were there for just 2 hours. Then they all packed up very quickly. They took the tape down and they were gone.
And guess what the sheriff said? Will you respect our privacy? Will you respect our privacy? I know that you're not confused, but thank you for your paid membership. Look at, I mean, come on. There is a woman, 84-year-old woman that has literally been abducted, missing, and wait a second. We're now supplying the person that has taken her with all this knowledge, all this intel, right? That's how I look at something. There is it's one thing to make sure that the media is supposed to do what? Hey, we gotta let everybody know what's going on. And but we also want to make sure that we're not giving away intel and information to who. There is a woman that is missing, and then y'all knew before you did all this that there was a ransom, right? I struggle with, they have the relationships. They're the ones with the relationships with the law enforcement people. They're the ones that literally they have the relationships. And then they violate their relationships. And what I mean by violate their relationships is that you give me this intel, right? And hey, I'm not going to say anything. But then I go over there and I tell little birdie over there. And then they go running. Do you hear me running? Do you? And then, hey, go here. This is what they're doing. All for what? Well, guess what? My YouTube channel got 300,000 hits in 1 hour.
And what happened in the back of the property? Same, like more searching back there? Because as you know, our mutual friend, Ashley Banfield, is reporting that a law enforcement...
Our mutual friend, right? Well, let's talk about that. You guys, think about it. We can go out there, right? There's a term called B-roll film. B-roll, right? So, hey, keep all the cameras running, right? We got all eyes on you people. But guess what? We're going to only report certain things because we don't want to give up like what y'all are doing to like intel it wise, because you guys are out there trying to find people or a person that did this to an 84-year-old woman. This is coming out after the fact that the family has come out and did like basically like a hostage video. I mean, come on, right? Well, we're just reporting the news. Are you? Are you? No, you're not reporting the news. The news is that there's an 84-year-old woman that was abducted from her home. A family is missing their loved one, and cops are investigating, right? Why aren't there any reports on, you know what normally happens in this situation? They start talking about, this is what this person was into, and this is what this person was into, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this. And why aren't they interviewing neighbors? Like, think about the normal, like what they normally do. This isn't normal. This isn't normal.
Source told her a bunch of things, including that The back door was wide open when law enforcement showed up.
So they want to keep putting this out there. No one had the balls inside of that freaking dude. This sheriff gave you guys a question and then a follow-up question, and he gave it to like 17 to 21 reporters. You know how many questions? 42. Go see how many questions he answered. And none of you people had the balls to say, it is being reported by Ashley Banfield that blah, blah, blah. We're not going to speak on the forced entry. This isn't forced entry. We're talking about a wide open door. We're talking about when responding officers got there, was the back door wide open? We're talking about the same person saying that, hey, that woman's husband's from Italy. He blah, 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 blah. Go out there and get the information that you guys normally dig. This is the most bizarre shit ever. We have all this intel, and this is what we're doing.
And that the Ring camera, it was a Nest camera, had been destroyed. Both of the one in the
she's like, this Ring camera, oh, it was a Nest camera. Who told you it was a Nest camera?
Front and the one in the back. So there is some question about whether the intruder may have used the back door and what happened back there, because they were behind the house yesterday. No,
they were behind the house, and they also had a canine that they had out there, sniffing around and going around the house. But it seemed like they were more focused inside the house. I mean, at first they did a search around the house, which you can see here. They went out into the brush. But then it seemed like most of the time, then they all went into the house.
What do you think they were looking for?
What was the grid search you reported on yesterday?
So
how about this? You had the opportunity to ask, hey, you had canine dogs out there, or what kind of dogs did you have out there? Hey, I saw you guys had people outside looking. I know that you can't talk about the investigation, but can you talk about the fact that, like, were you trying to, is there things that, should we be doing a grid to get, we can have a lot of people here. Should we start walking the area? Is there something that you're looking for in particular? Or should we at least just walk, and whatever we find, we should just turn into you? Like, come on, man. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Okay. And I'm the type that's like, hey, what's my role? What do you need me for? Hey, I'm the point guard. Hey, I'm the shooting guard. Hey, I'm the power forward. Hey, I'm the coach. Hey, I'm this. We all have a role, right? Or we can at least assume a role, right? And if you guys are looking for something, you don't have to tell us what it's for or what it is. But should we be neighborhood canvassing and walking up and down? What do you think that there could potentially be? How about nobody asks, why did the blood stop right at the door? If somebody is bleeding, we know that there can't be a car that just takes you right out of the house. We know that you're not floating, or why did the blood trail stop? Nobody asked that question. What can we do to help? What can we do to help instead of just let's just report on, and let's just let people let's just let you guys talk about whatever. But this is what they love. This is what they love. Because this is what free reign is for them. They're like, guess what? We can do and say whatever we want right now because our higher powers aren't bought yet, because we don't know what the narrative is. Oh my God, this is their favorite time. What's the narrative? Guess what? I get to be free. It's like doing the Carl. Oh my God, we're not bought yet. We're not, so we can just, woo. Funny how all of this stuff changes once something is oh wait, we arrested somebody. Then fry that motherfucker. They're still not woo, file, it's not free. It's no. Because, oh wait, we realized that they were never free to begin with. This is all, I'm going off of law enforcement tips. You guys, if I was in law enforcement, I would be telling 5 of you people right now, this, that, the other, and freaking Frack did it. Just so y'all just hey, you go to the left, they go to the right. Go ahead and spread your asses all down Main Street. If when they say, oh, I got a friend that's I got a source, law enforcement, this is so crump tight. This is my best source ever. How does it make every other source that you deal with feel hey, this is my best source? Oh, wait. And then we hear the same thing on the next breaking news. We have a new murder. We have the new this. This is sick. Fuck this.
Going back and forth between Nancy's house and Annie's house, which is about 10 minutes away, just trying to kind of keep an eye on both places. And when I was driving back to Nancy's house in her
Why? You have two dudes there. Why? Why do you do that? With all the technology, dude, he's getting 400,000 hits per episode. Like, dude, you can splurge.
neighborhood, there was another search happening with about half a dozen deputies where they were, lined up doing a grid search in a field near her house. So I don't know if they got
the way you do, like, forgive me, to find like a dead body potentially,
Right.
like where you're sort of shoulder to shoulder.
Where they were, lined up doing a grid search in a field near her house. So I don't know if they got
The way you do,
So she just muted him.
like, forgive me,
Like, forgive me, I just had to hit the mute button. Dude, come on, Sirius XM be paying me. Come on now. You just blah, blah, blah. I gotta reel this in.
to find
You had a chance. You asked some questions out there today, Brian, and you shat yourself. What were your questions? Well, let's see. My notes say that these were your questions. You just only cared about you wanted to talk about evidence. Okay, so your first question, Brian, was like, you want us to tell you about the crime scene. We can't. So what's your next one? Yeah.
like a dead body potentially,
Right.
like where you're sort of shoulder to shoulder walking together.
Correct. Or like a little piece of evidence. That way they don't miss anything. They all line up. So they were doing that. And then the night before, right before the sunset, there was this helicopter that came out, a sheriff's office helicopter that did a pass over the house. So at first I thought like, oh, maybe they were just coming to check on things. But then they were there for an hour, hovering very, very low with two deputies peering out the helicopter, looking down and just circling the house. So I think they're probably getting different tips coming in that they have to run out on and check on. Maybe they heard there was something.
They're hovering over the house in a helicopter because they're running down tips. Just the tip, ladies and gentlemen. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Maybe they're running the helicopter over the house because it takes literally all that sound that's going on. It makes it so that y'all can't run feed on what's happening. That is what it tells me. It tells me that bring a helicopter over because guess what? We tried to run a live feed, right? And they had to play music. You want to know why? Because all you would have heard is. But listen to these fools. Let me tell you what y'all think.
In the field yesterday, and that's why they were there. But they've definitely been very active.
Yeah.
We have this online video.
They're
of,
working in
Nancy
Cave.
Guthrie's house.
There's
and
an 84-year-old woman. Like, why aren't we talking? Hey, normally they try to reach out to the family. Why aren't they? None of these people have invaded any of. Why aren't you guys? Hey, y'all are friends with her. Y'all are friends with her. Why haven't you interviewed them? Why aren't you reaching out like crazy people to interview Savannah, Annie? What, you guys don't? You lost your skill? You lost your ability to, infiltrate, troll? Like, hey, we'll give you credit, Lana. Can we use your video? Yeah. Sure, go ahead. Credit these titties. I don't give a fuck if you credit or not. I'll be sure to use your video and say, I'm this motherfucking source. These people have all the contacts. This is contact central, motherfucker. Of course I'm going to. Lana, you seem so upset. No, I'm not. This is a joke. This type of shit is a joke to me. How is this helping anything? Why don't you do a live call-in show? Let's see what crazy person wants to call in and say, I got some evidence. He walked up to the doors that were, oh, wait, let's go to the door. Oh, wait, all of those people around that area. Why aren't you reporting on who has Ring cameras, who doesn't? I mean, this is just, it's called privilege, motherfucker. Privilege.
Property around it, and it really does show. The backyard, it's not that big. You can see there's brush. Can we put it on the screen, please? There's brush in the back of the house, but it's not like huge. This is just from Google Maps.
It is from
So
Google
it's like,
Maps.
it wouldn't take that long to search that, Brian. In other words, like, it's very manageable to make sure.
But let's think about it. What are you searching for? What are you searching for? What I think is interesting is, let's talk to the neighbors right here. Look at that house right there to the right. Okay. You need to find out the pattern of behavior that's been going on. Okay. But I'll tell you this, me personally, I don't think you need to pay attention to anybody's pattern of behavior if you're going to go into their home at 2:00 in the morning. You don't need to pay attention to anybody's pattern. I'm going to go into their home at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. They're going to be there, right? I mean, think about that. Think about that. Let me assess the situation. So, Lana, you like to armchair quarterback. Well, what do you think? Well, let me tell you what I think. I'm going to go off of what my boy said, who's the sheriff. The sheriff came out with the most in-depth timeline, which tells me the following. Well, the local family in town is the daughter, Annie. We were all over there gathering for dinner. Oh, awesome. Playing board games. Oh my God, so normal. Okay, so who was it? It was Annie. It was her husband. It was who? Nancy. Who else was there? So first question is nobody asked, was local family home gathering and dinner. Who besides family was there? Not a single soul in that building asked that question. Okay. Next, dropped off at home. It was the garage door that opened at 9:48, and it was the garage door that closed at 9:50. Question: is it normal that they open and like they enter the home from the garage? Is that what they normally do? We see that there is a vehicle inside the garage. Is she known to be a driver? Because here she took an Uber and then we drove her home. People that are want to twisting this is, oh my God, I can't believe that you made your mother Uber. You guys, that's like me saying, I cannot believe that you did not cook and that you went out to dinner. I cannot believe that you didn't cook for your mother. It's called convenience. Okay. It's called convenience. Also, let's not kid ourselves. A lot of people that are older like to say like, hey, I can handle things myself. Look I know how to do things. I got this Uber app. I'm good. And you don't want to like infringe on that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, they're independent. They still want that. They're 84. They want to feel 64. How many of you 50-year-olds want to feel like you're 30 and you want to fuck 30-year-olds? You feel me?
God forbid she's not back there, or a weapon wouldn't be back there. It's not a ton to search. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. And that area, it, like I said, it's wooded with cactuses, but it's also kind of open. Like it wouldn't be terribly difficult to search. And they did a search the first day too. They had Border Patrol out here. They had the Border Patrol dogs. So it seems like they've been pretty thorough in terms of searching the land around the house.
Mm-hmm. So,
but like searching for what though? Okay. Searching for what? The only thing that would matter here is if you were searching for like a blood trail. Okay. How do they leave? What street did they get on? Things like that. You'd be searching for what? If they were scoping out the house, is there things that DNA could have been left on? Like if they were smoking cigarettes, if they were spitting out sunflower seeds.
now what happened at Annie Guthrie's house, where, by the way, she lives there with her husband, Tommaso, right?
Yep.
And is Savannah staying with them?
She is. It's my understanding she is staying there. We haven't seen her come out, but we heard she was there, and it makes perfect sense because when I saw them go in with the ring light and the tripod, and then they recorded the video.
I saw them go in there with the ring light and the tripod. They just have to talk about that. Do you understand that asking that question, like if the FBI was part of that, if the FBI was part of, and I'm immensely impressed the fact that they even answered and entertained that, but hey, they probably had no choice. Hey, we saw you guys walk in there with a tripod. Well, couldn't have been at first. Let me tell you what they were telling you guys that was. Have you guys ever heard of like Liz Q images? Have you ever heard of 3D images of crime scenes? Okay. They went in there with a tripod and they were processing the scene. Well, no, actually, they just went to her sisters to provide a tripod to put up like the phone that they wanted to go ahead and have like horizontal, instead of vertical. Hey, like, woo, like, hey, we don't have tripod. Like, what do you mean? I'm just saying, y'all were reporting like, oh my God, it was like a crime scene over there at Annie's, right? And that her husband is some illegal from Italy, and that he's here to, he's responsible and blah, blah, like just irresponsible shit. You guys, wild ass shit. You saw a ring light go in with the tripod and y'all didn't realize that it was a ring light for the tripod. I mean, I'm lost there. Do you not know what CSI has? Like, they're not bringing stuff in from some vehicle that has been exposed to whatever. They have the crime scene trucks that if you're going to take something out for the purposes of using it in a crime scene, it has to be sterile. What the fuck? Like, this is just like, you guys are the ones that say that you go to all these crime scenes and that you fly from airport to airport. And you didn't realize that when they got out of the vehicle that they were taking in, like, a 14-year-old would have like a ring light to give it good lighting so that they could do that video last night for 4 minutes. You guys thought that was processing go back, roll back film. Oh my God. They were saying all this crazy shit.
I presume inside that house with Savannah. So I'm 99% sure she's there. And
can you describe the house for us? Like, what kind of house is it?
Yeah, it's kind of a ranch style. I think they bought it a couple years ago for $650,000.
Describe the house for us. What do you guys? I would laugh at that. Come on, I'm out here, and this is what you want me to tell you is describe the house. Don't you have, I don't know, every website available to talk about the layout of this house? Who gives a shit? That's not what I'm here for, to tell you about the layout of a house. Let me tell you what's going on around the house. I talked to this neighbor. I talked to that neighbor. Let's just describe the house that he's never been in.
$1,000. It's a nice house. The neighborhood is similar to Nancy's neighborhood, where the houses all sit on maybe like an acre of land or a couple of acres. It's not right in town. It's out also in the foothills. And it's just kind of,
what do they do for a living?
It's kind of like a normal.
What do they do for a living?
Annie is a poet. Like, I don't know that they have. I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't know they have like real jobs. Annie's a poet.
Oh my God. I don't know if they have like real jobs. Can you believe this interview? Dude, Brian Etten, what do you do for a living? Well, I can't really say that Brian Etten has a real job, but he like floats around on YouTube and flies off from this city to that city. And he says a lot. You seem upset and mad? Come on, girl. Aren't you mad? This is just hilarious. We've been dealing with this for a while. Mad? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is how misinformation gets spread everywhere. Like, this is bad. This is bad.
And Tomas is like in a band, and I think was a teacher. I was looking through records yesterday. I know he either worked or still works at a charter school.
That's pretty good. That's good. He's a teacher.
And so they have like normal cars. I think she has a Camry, and then there's an SUV.
They have normal cars. I would just say, like, he doesn't need to say they have normal cars. They got a couple. It's like, what do you?
And so I saw Tomas and Annie together leaving the house the day before yesterday. So that would have been Tuesday. I didn't see Tomas at all yesterday. And none of my like friends or colleagues that were out there keeping an eye on the house saw him either. But we did see Annie outside the house yesterday, and we saw Savannah's brother there. They were coming and going. And the FBI was there the day before yesterday. And then yesterday, the only agents that I saw were those ICAC agents that were going in presumably to help make the video.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ashley's reporting.
That's not what happened the other day, though, is it?
That the authorities seized Annie's car the day before yesterday.
Oh.
Did you see two cars on property, or do you have any reason to, believe or disbelieve that particular piece of her reporting?
Megan.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to disbelieve it, but I don't know that I saw one car outside, and there could be a car in the garage. No one got any video of a car being towed, which I think is kind of
Do you hear me running? Here he is. Nobody has any video of that. That's kind of how we felt in Idaho. And we're like, they had to take 4 bodies out of there. But guess what? The people that had the video, it was all local media. If you see it around in Idaho for the Idaho 4 case, right? We're like, and I was like, guys, stop. Please calm down. And people are wondering, why would they ever put out some body bag? Well, because people are out there saying that this never happened. Okay? You sick motherfuckers?
interesting just because there's, you know how it is at these things. There's like always some camera outside. There's like these paparazzis that show up and freelance people who stay there.
I was waiting for it. Fuck out of here.
Could be a car in the garage. No one got any video of a car being towed, which I think is kind of interesting just because there's, you know how it is at these things. There's like always some camera outside. There's like these paparazzis that show up and freelance people who stay there all night. So I'm kind of surprised we never saw any video. I mean, that would be kind of a big deal for the car to be
That's a good point.
towed, you know?
That's a good point. Well, and we don't know whether it's true. Even Ashley doesn't know that it's true. She was told by one single senior law enforcement source that it
Wait, excuse me? How did nobody catch that right there? Oh my God. There's like always these paparazzi people that just like hang out and just like fucking just sit there all night. That is what you do. That's what you do.
Camera outside, there's like these paparazzis that show up and freelance people who
Mhm.
stay there all night. So I'm kind of surprised we never saw any video. I mean, that would be kind of a big deal for the car to be
That's a good point.
towed, you know?
That's a good point. Well, and we don't know whether it's true. Even Ashley doesn't know that it's true. She was told by one single senior law enforcement source that it was, and no one else has been able to match the reporting on that or the other piece about Annie's husband, Tomas, which also remains unconfirmed. But we don't know what's happening there.
Wait, how do you say that nobody's been able to match the reporting? Do you mean like match it in terms of, is that like a new term that we're using? Match it? You mean vet it? You mean, I don't know. You need to have two sources, right? Independent sources. Like, whoa. You guys, this is insanity, man. This is crazy. Oh my God, we usually have paparazzi. Paparazzi, dude, you walked up. You were the paparazzi. You, Brian Etten. I just don't get it. Like, own it. Like, I'd be like, hell yeah, I fucking walked up there. Hell yeah, I had my camera up there. Why do you think we have this information? I would be saying, I cannot believe. Yep, we usually have paparazzi out here. They stay out here all night. Like, dude, this is just gaslighting. Like, professional gaslighting.
No reporting, right, at this point about any suspects or persons of interest,
Right. That's right.
other than Ashley's.
Right. That's the only reporting I've heard. The latest from the sheriff is that there's no known suspect and no person of interest, which back to what Ashley has said, I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon for them to be essentially lying to us. I mean, we've seen it happen again and again in other cases. But they seem pretty passionate when they say that they don't have a suspect.
So what did they do at Annie's house? Did they search Annie's house, or did they just go inside with camera equipment to help us presumably film that video?
Yeah, I didn't see them searching at all. I just saw them go in with the camera equipment, and then the day before, just kind of talking to them in the.
So did that kind of like tip you off to say, like, when you were like on Twitter, FBI looks like feds are here at Annie's house? Like, usually people correct themselves. You guys, I'll correct myself all the time. Dude, you guys are out there saying that Annie's husband is the one that did this. That he's prime uno suspect number one.
Driveway. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure Savannah's staying there. It would make sense that they would be coming to the house frequently to give them updates, to check on them, to talk to them. So I don't think it's that.
What do you mean that's not frequent? Like, what is he speaking about giving them updates? Is that how that works? I'm like, what the fuck is going? I'm living in a Twilight Zone right now. We got to slow him down. Wait, that's not, no, they just
Unusual.
don't even update you. Like, that's just, what do you mean? You actually have to call them. Like, they're just not around the, hey, make sure. If that happening, that means that's awesome communication lines. And maybe you should report on that.
That the feds are coming in and out. On staying there, it would make sense that they would be coming to the house frequently to give them updates, to check on them, to talk to them. So I don't think it's that.
Check on them? What are you talking about?
Unusual that the feds are coming in and out.
They're in danger. Check on them.
Yes. And just to be clear, over at the mom's house, Nancy's house, there were 2 searches yesterday, one in the afternoon and then another one in the evening that included the garage and the helicopter overhead.
So the one search earlier in the day was not actually at her house. It was close by in the field. The only search at her house was the one later at 4:30, where it was kind of the big hubbub where they shut everything down, put the crime scene tape up. So that was the only search at her actual house.
2 other quick questions. The Daily Mail today is reporting that Nancy Guthrie did not attend a church in person, and that she hadn't been for years since the COVID pandemic, that instead she'd been participating in the live stream into this church. And then they had one source at the church who told them that. The church, for the record, is not saying that on the record. They're not saying anything. They're saying we're not commenting.
Okay. This is what, wait, what? Okay. Let me give you an example here. The Tepe case. Okay. I am local to it, right? I have said that I've talked to sources, I didn't have to reveal them. Okay. But I explained if this source was who, if they were like, hey, this is somebody that's known him for da 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 da, like, right? I've never had to say they're going on the record with me. They're not going on the record with me. None of that. What I am just simply saying is that I am trying to tell you guys, this is what I have been able to gather. And I made sure that I gathered it in a way that I felt like I vetted it. And if you know who I am, that would mean that I'm not trying to pry into someone's life and say that, hey, I don't believe you. But if what you're saying is true, then do you have any of that? Like, do you have text messages of that? Do you have, you know what I mean? So to hear this, that, oh, these people aren't coming on the record or coming on the record, like, what does that even have to be?
Pandemic, that church. In two other quick questions. The Daily Mail today is reporting that Nancy Guthrie did not attend a church in person, and that she hadn't been for years since the COVID pandemic, that instead she'd been participating in the live stream into this church. And then
how would somebody know if she's participating in a live stream? Have you guys ever participated in a live stream church? Like, we all chat while we watch church. Last time I checked, it was frowned upon when I would go to school at a very young age. I went to Catholic schools. And then before that, like, I started going to church at a very young age. I was baptized, did all my sacraments, all that stuff, right? We weren't chatting it up in church. So I think that somebody who is claiming to be religious, right, and believes in, like, hey, just because of COVID happening, you're still going to respect the fact that we should be listening. So what do you mean participating in live chatting? Unfucking believable. I'm sorry, but that's a logic thing for me. What do you mean live chatting while church is going on? Like, you listen, okay? You pray. You do a lot of soul searching. You think. Once COVID happened, I just started participating on live chats. I think that's like a slap in the face to everything that Savannah's been putting out. She's a very religious girl.
Had one source at the church who told them that. The church, for the record, is not saying that on the record. They're not saying anything. They're saying we're not commenting. But they're saying there'd be no way for anybody to know who was participating in the live stream. It's not like a thing where you can see who's joining. People live stream in or they don't. Now that would be a material change.
So you just mean that she's not chatting. So she just is joining the live stream of, like, hey, it's in front of us. Because that's totally different.
From the story that
because then, like, nobody would know that. Okay. Like, for the record, unless you put your name in this chat, okay? Unless you put your name in this chat, there is no way that I can tell that you watched my live stream or my replay, unless I was to go through lengths through law enforcement to then say, hey, there was a crime that happened, and if they believe that there was probable cause and they went and got IP addresses, I have no idea. Like, she knows this.
Sheriff told, which was that somebody at church noticed Nancy wasn't there. She was a religious churchgoer, and that person called the family out of concern. Have you heard anything on this either way?
So the church near her house that we went to, the pastor told my producer the same thing that the Daily Mail is reporting, that she switched to online after COVID and didn't come to church on Sundays. I just assumed maybe she also went to a different church. That was just my first assumption, that maybe we had the wrong church or that she had switched in the last.
Yeah, or maybe she feels bad, so she's just like, oh, I just do it online, and that way you guys don't, like, I don't have to,
couple of months, or maybe, sometimes people go to like a couple churches. Maybe she goes online to that one sometimes and likes a different one too, some Sundays. So I didn't.
When's the last time she gave her envelope? How about that? Can you ask that question? Did you ask that? When's the last time she gave an envelope? Did she donate? Well, we can't give that out. We can't talk about that.
Read into it like the sheriff definitely had the wrong story. I just thought, gosh, maybe there's another church we don't know about.
What? Bizarre. Just bizarre. So they're just basically saying like we don't buy the story that we were notified based on the fact that she didn't show up to church, right? Okay.
Yep, that could be was yet another button we need to close. Last
should
but
be
not
so
least,
easy to
what are we
close.
expecting at the presser that happens today at 1 p.m. Eastern?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's been so unpredictable with this sheriff. You know, the first couple of days he was very open, and every time you would call or interview him, he would kind of give you a new little nugget. And then once the FBI got involved at the last press conference, he was much, much more guarded. So I'm not sure what to expect. I mean, he's obviously going to have to comment on the search yesterday, on Savannah's new video. The last time we've seen him on camera, he said that he believed that Nancy Guthrie is alive, which was kind of a big statement to make. So I'm interested to ask him.
Why would he not make that statement though? Wow. Just wow. Okay, well, you had the opportunity. You were there. You said that you were part of News Nation to get in. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got in as an independent, unless you know, an affiliate. So he's like, yeah, I'm here with News Nation. So you get in, Brian, and then what happens? What do? We ask ridiculous questions. We just ask about the crime scene, and they can't talk about that.
Down this investigation, last night we saw the video put out by Savannah Guthrie and her siblings making that desperate plea
Come on, what?
for whoever took Nancy, for them to bring her back and bring her back safely. And then we got the update today from Pima County. So a lot going on right here on Live Now from Fox. Let's go now out to TMZ's Branson Quirky, continues to follow this fascinating case, joins us here with the latest.
Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing well here in Branson. So a big takeaway, it seemed like today there was several different factors in this Pima County update. One of them being somebody was definitely trying to take advantage of this whole situation and say that they wanted the Bitcoin ransom.
Right, exactly. The Pima County Sheriff held a press conference earlier today, and we got some more details concerning that alleged ransom letter that we have been circulating. Now, there's also a timeline as well that they gave. And in terms of that person that you just mentioned, there was a bogus ransom letter that authorities revealed had sent out one as well, trying to make money off of this to take advantage of the situation. And we have learned, authorities tell TMZ that that person has since been arrested.
Yes.
And this is one of those things that everybody was worried about. If there are people out there that see this and don't have good hearts and good minds, they want to take advantage of a really heartbreaking situation like this. Again, this person.
What I think is just great about it is that you can say that you're going to do all these things, but when someone does something, you have to hold them accountable. And so we will be following very closely to anybody that made a fake. I said this is obstruction of justice. Okay. You can get them on things. You have to stop letting law enforcement behave poorly. And then B, you have to stop letting media affiliates behave poorly. What I mean by that is, back in the day, we caught people. We caught people pretending to have sources. We caught people pretending to say that they were so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. Like that type of trolling, okay, needs to stop. I believe it's criminal. I believe it meets the statutes in every state, okay? And so I was screaming from the rooftops yesterday, like, hey, this cannot happen. Sure as shit today, guess what? FBI comes out and says, we are prosecuting, and they arrested somebody. And I was like, hell yes. Get these. No tip line should have 40,000 tips. 40,000 tips of what? You know, in the Brian Colbert case, in the Idaho case, in any case, what are you calling in for? What are you calling in for? What do you have a tip about? What's your tip? These liars.
has been arrested. But the timeline
Love
that they
it.
revealed today in this press conference is really interesting as well, because they start at 5:32 p.m. on Saturday, just a few hours before midnight, saying that Nancy had traveled to the family home nearby to play games, to play and drink, hang out with everybody, have a night together. And then upon leaving, that is when she came home. The timeline continues, 9:48 p.m. The family drops her off. And then we see the garage close at 9:50 p.m. And then at 1:47 a.m. is when that doorbell camera that was on her door had disconnected. And there is no video because there is supposedly no subscription to that kept the video. And then from then on, her pacemaker disconnected. And then the morning comes, it's reported that she is missing.
I mean, there's so many just tragic levels here to this case. And I thought another interesting part, a takeaway too from this Pima County update was when the FBI talking about this ransom letter that not only you guys got at TMZ, but other media outlets talking about this new information that we learned that there was a cutoff time. Today at 5 p.m. was one of those times.
Yes, exactly. So the first deadline today, 5 o'clock p.m., and then the second deadline, and we're being told that this is a more serious deadline, is Monday, this Monday, February 9th. So that is very concerning
serious?
that these are being taken seriously.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. This is new. He didn't say anything about a more, like, where are they getting this information from? We sat here and we watched the entire presser. Okay. There was nothing that there was a more dire, hey, we have one deadline and then we have another deadline. And that, like, what are you talking about? That is ridiculous. That's not what he said at all.
5 o'clock p.m.
Cutoff time today at 5 p.m. was one of those times.
Yes, exactly. So the first deadline today, 5 o'clock p.m., and then the second deadline, and we're being told that this is a more serious deadline, is Monday.
Why do they have to throw that in there? Why would they throw that in there? That was not told to us. That was not told to us at all. We all sat there and watched the same goddamn thing. So they're over here trying to say, this is what we got told to us, not by the sheriff. That must be from your own special little personal contacts. Unbelievable.
This Monday, February 9th. So that is very concerning that these are being taken seriously. Let
me ask you a question. If she needs medication and she was taken on a, Saturday going into Sunday, early morning, right? So all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today's Thursday? How many days can she go without her medication, or can she really truly go without it? She lives in pain. I mean, I don't know. I'm not her doctor. I have no idea. But you're going to set, hey, we have a deadline. They just picked Thursday. And then, but hang on. We have 2 deadlines here. So here's your first one. And if you can't make it, it's okay. We have another one for you on Monday. Think about it, people. If there was 2 deadlines written into a note, how would you word that if you were the person collecting the money? How would you, hey, hi, I know that you don't have that much time and notice. So this first deadline, Thursday at 5, it's okay if you can't make it. We're going to give you a second one. An idiot. Think about it. What do you think that the deadlines would truly be about? What? Half now, half then? Hey, we're asking for this much money, but we get it. You may not be able to, I mean, what? Hey, we're going to stop giving her medication. We have her medication with us. But if you don't pay us by this date, then this is when we're going to go ahead and stop giving it to her. I don't know. I'm just simply saying, if there are 2 dates down, there's like a, in case this doesn't get to you and the media wants to hold it and the cops want to hold it, then we're going to, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Think about
looks
it.
like here is that this ransom note is absolutely being taken seriously. And also the sheriff did share that this will be the last correspondent from whoever sent this ransom letter. We know that Savannah and her siblings made this video, put it out there for the public, a 4-minute plea about their mother, saying that she's such a kind soul, but we do need proof of life here. We need proof of life because in this day and age of AI and pictures and videos being generated, it's very hard to know what is real and what is not.
The question is did they ever even get did they even receive something that would say like, hey, this is proof of life. Like we're sending you something with the ransom. And that's never how it's ever been presented. It was presented that there was an email. So was it more like a folder? Was it like an email with attachments? And then who's going to be so stupid to send those type of attachments? All I can say here is that for the family to say that because of the way things are now with intelligence, okay, it's like they have something, right? But they don't know if it's real. And in fact, what they talked about is, hey, we know that they say, well, the way that the sheriff puts it out, and then also the FBI they say, hey, an Apple Watch and floodlight. And then that was the question. The second question, when Brian ended his follow-up, he said, well, with those two pieces, are you able to look at the timeline and ask yourself, are these things that they would have been able to write into a letter, right? Knowing that she has an Apple Watch, right? If there was information passed around that she has an Apple Watch and it's connected to her. And then 2, if they were able to see any of the aerial views, blah, blah, and that there was the floodlight that was out. The most interesting part of it wasn't his question, right? It was if he listened to the answer, and the answer was he didn't know when the ransom note came in. And I'm like, what? How is that not actually on the timeline? That should be actually on the timeline, right? No? That's why we have to create our own timeline over here. And we did that. So here we go. Check this out. Let me pull this up for everybody. We love our timelines, right? So there it is. Okay. So how I would have went about this is, let's take our timeline. We don't know if the ransom was made up. Maybe they're saying that it was. Who knows? At the end of the day, you'd come out and say that. So let's just go a little bit back. There we go. Timeline. 5:32 p.m., right? Now, this is the Uber. Now, how are they going to have this? It's going to work one of 2 ways, right? The way that I believe that I would go about it is what time I ordered the Uber and what time the Uber came and picked me up. I'd be putting both of them. Well, all we got is that this is what time the Uber was. FYI, Lana, the Sun just made another plea. It's on TMZ. Hold on. It's on TMZ. He made a new video of proof of life. We're going to go to that. I have that. Hang tight. We got you there. Hang tight. So 5:32 p.m. Uber to dinner. And dinner was at the home, playing games, all that stuff. 9:48 p.m. That is the garage door opening. And the reason I did it like this is I did not say this is when they got home. If they're using these exact quotes of timestamps, it's because this is when the garage door opened. This is when the garage door closed. And so it's 9:48 and 9:50. Okay. Now, 1:47 a.m. Cameras were disabled on the outside. Now, if there's cameras that are inside, like for me, if you come into my home, great, disable whatever you want out there. But I guarantee you are not getting bypassed my inside cameras. You know why? Because you have no idea how I have my house motherfucking rigged. You're not getting past like the lasers. You better be able to fly like Aladdin on a goddamn carpet. Okay. Otherwise, this house will light up like the 4th of July. Why do I think that's important? I don't think that your pets are flying around your house and jumping around, okay? They usually sleep with you, whatever. But here, this is what we have in this case. At 1:47, the cameras are disabled. But then 2:12, only because of a camera alert, which I think is from the downloading of the phone or the app itself, that it didn't say what camera it was, but there was a camera that was alerted to motion that was detected. Now, let me tell you something. That might not even be a camera. That might just be a motion sensor. Any way you slice and dice it, it registers in your, it's right there. It's in your queue, here it is. So we have 1:47, cameras disabled. 2:12, there was a camera that was on that property, whether it was a camera or a sensor, but it alerted to motion activity. Then it would then be another 15 minutes until the pacemaker, was disconnected from the phone at 2:27. This is your timeline. This is what you're working with. And so if I was investigating this case, I'm going to tell you a couple things that I would be doing. I'd be paying attention to the fact that they knew that she left at 5:32. I'd be asking myself, hey, did you guys normally do Saturday night dinners? Was this normal? Okay. She had dinner at Annie's. Yep. She normally came over here. That's exactly what she did. Would she always Uber? Would she do what? Yep, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then she normally come back, blah, blah, and she's always by herself. Okay, great. So I have a question for you then. Why wait? Think about this. Why wait until 1:47 a.m.? If you know she's going to be home and in bed and that's what she does normally, this is all curtains by 11 or midnight, right? 1:47 a.m. Think about that. Why didn't this happen at midnight? When someone's planning something, they're thinking about things. So you have to think about what they were thinking about. And the only way that you can get to the bottom of this is you need to ask the right questions to the family. You need to look in the phone and know what you're looking for. Okay? To see, okay, listen, we don't think you guys are suspects. Okay? Please. We need to know, what time is she normally doing this? Does she ever come over here with anybody else? We want to know the pattern, because I'm personally curious as to why they went in at 1:47. Why didn't this happen earlier? I'd probably want as much traffic on the roads as possible. If I'm going to have a vehicle out that's going to be then on the road with other vehicles, right? If I put this at the later that I do this in the middle of midnight to 6, it's making it that there's not going to be that many cars out on the road, versus if I do it at 11 midnight. I'm just telling you guys how I would be thinking about it. Seems like a lot of thought went into this. So I want to explain to myself, because if this could ever get in the hands and that it would help somebody, I'd be thinking about these things. The next thing, a garage door open, garage door closed. Is that normally what happens? You normally go into the garage, you normally leave. Everything happens in the garage. I think so. A lot of people do that. So therefore, you're not even paying attention to the front door. You're not even like, I don't use the front door. The only thing the front door is used for is if I get deliveries, Amazon, shit like that, right? So that means if the family then comes over the next day, which is what happened here, right? Then we have the rest of the timeline, which is, hey, 11:56 a.m. checks on Nancy. The family checks on Nancy. And then it says at 12:03, 911 was called. Well, I think it's telling that the 911 call has not been released. We haven't heard anything about the 911 call. And that tells me that it's describing potentially the inside of the house and how things were, because that goes to evidence. But okay, 11:56 a.m. I have reason to believe that if they're a family that goes in from the garage, that means when you would come to check on her, you're going to pull up, go to the garage, punch in the code, right? And then voila, you're walking in and you're like, okay, there's my mom's car. Now I'm continuing to walk in. I didn't see anything with the front door yet, right? And so it makes perfect sense to me then. Wow, 11:56 to 12:03, you're calling 911. She's not in there, right? So I'm curious to see when they eventually find out about this blood, or did they go in from the front door? I just don't think that they did. I think that if they're to check on Nancy at 11:56, that tells me that the garage once again was alerting to an opening, okay, or a camera alerted to something. But for you to have a definitive, I can say at 11:56 that they go there to check on Nancy, and then 911 was called at 12:03, and then 10 minutes later we get out there. Where I think your dispatch time for you to get to I don't know. But I guess if you're calling and you're like the person's not there, like what? Okay, 10 minutes, like they're not there. I just came here. My mother didn't show up to church or whatever they're saying. I came to the house. The car's here. They're not here. I used the code to get in. Like I'm so-and-so, and it's my 84-year-old mother. I don't know where she's at. So I'm curious if the blood is noticed. It'd be very curious to know if the blood gets noticed. It would also tell us a lot about how they would never even think to check that way, because she doesn't leave in and out that way. So also, if you were to open up the door, right, and go outside and check around for your mom before you call 911, then the Ashley Banfields of the world, if the police respond and they see that the back door was just wide open, right, it's like that could have been open from the family and it was just never closed. So I just think that if you work with this timeline right here, it's really important to think, why did they wait until 1:47? Why not do this at midnight? I would rather do this at midnight if I'm planning on leaving the area right away. If I'm not leaving the area right away, then yeah, sure, I can go in at 2:47 or 1:47 and do this at 2:30. If you are truly knowing the capabilities of the flock cameras, and if they have flock, which I know that they do, all we need is one camera to catch a description. And at that point, if you're going to go in the middle of the night like that, we can just hit all the flock cameras just to look at and see what cameras are hitting, or what vehicle is hitting any of the cameras at that point, because it's going to be so few and far between. Like there's just not that many. So I think that they need to look at the houses around the area, which ones are being rented out, which ones are being Airbnb'd, and you need to go outwards of like a year or two. You cannot go and look. This is somebody that bought themselves a lot of time. So if you were to do a search, hey, I'm looking for rentals in the last 3 months, go further. This is somebody that would know this, would be planning and saying that, go look at when, okay, I would go, when they make the decision that would be that Italy got the bid and Italy is going to be hosting the Olympics. Go back that far. And the only reason why is because if they're going to try to make this political and make it one side versus the other side, well, I would go back in a 2-year period. I would go back to whenever it was announced that Italy was hosting the Winter Olympics. And I would look for Airbnbs in the area, and I would look for everything that's in a radius that would not be seen on a flock camera. And I think that's going to take you like, it's not that far out, but that's what I would look at, because I wouldn't leave the area. I would not leave the area right away. I would wait. I would wait a day or two to then take myself out in traffic. Take myself out that they're not thinking like, let's look at the cameras of what's happening in, hour 48. This is, if they think that somebody's going to come in and we're going to just speed out of there, you guys, the technology that we have nowadays, that's just not going to work. We're going to catch you. We are going to catch you. So if you think that you're going to leave right after you commit a crime and we have the timestamps of all of this, you're going to get caught. So that's what I think. I think that this person stayed in the area or people, and that they were in a house right around it. And I think that you should watch the movie Ransom. Fuck a van. You don't even need that. I think that they took the sister Annie's car in to check to see if it was bugged. If she was always the one that was providing rides, if that vehicle was, it could have been bugged. It could have been put a tag on it so that it's GPS. So that's just, think about it. What does the Olympics have to do with this? What did I miss? Oh my God. It has everything to do with everything. If you want to talk about what's the motive here? Well, to make money. We want to make money. Oh, when's the last successful ransom that you guys have ever heard about? Well, all I know is that this prevented Savannah from going to Milan. What it looks like is happening here is that somebody that loves their career and that has worked so hard for their career that, hey, what's going to get at somebody that we have an issue with, we're going to go out and take away something that the people that you love so much, their career and their job, right? Their career, job, their mom, career, job, mom, sister, career, job, mom, sister, brother. We lost our mother. We lost our dad back in the day. So let's go ahead and go at somebody and take away everything that they love with one shot. Well, she's not going to go to Milan and host that. She's not going to be on the Today Show. And we just took out her mom. And so, and that's what I would think. I would think that this was not, oh, hey, this is just like, I'm going to go after this 84-year-old woman who has nothing to do with anything. It makes no sense. So I agree with the sheriff. This was not a serial elderly kidnapper. Oh, so I wasn't aware of her career endeavors. Yep, there you go. She's just, yeah. But hey, I would focus in on why they decided to go in at 1:47 a.m. 212, 227. I mean, maybe they know, does she take any type of medication to help her sleep? Would then she be so groggy? I mean, you just got to think about it all. I think that this vehicle stayed in the area. And we'll never hear. I think this vehicle stayed in the area. I just do. I think the vehicle stayed in the area for 48 hours. So I think that somebody should look at the Airbnbs, any property there that's been rented, even if they rented the property a year ago, or any property that is being rented out. I don't care what the terms of the lease are. Look into that. How did the person know? I get that they took, okay, so if you take off, so did she usually sleep with her watch on? Did she normally sleep with her watch on? I'm just curious of the whole 227 that the pacemaker was disabled from the watch. Does that mean that the watch was turned off? Like, I think people should have asked more questions about that, and they just didn't know how to articulate that, I don't think. But that means that they would have the watch, right? And then so are you basing it off of the fact that she took a couple steps with the watch at 2:24 or from 2:15, you know, she was making moves around with that watch on. And then all of a sudden the watch comes off of her, right? And they're just saying that. So I'm curious about that. I think somebody does some hella planning. 227, the pacemaker is disconnected from the phone. From the watch. Not the phone, but the watch. I think he may have slipped up and said even phone in the presser. So let's see what you guys think, though. The FBI needs to school big media. I love the transparency. I loved that presser. I just can't get enough of that presser. I thought that it was great. I thought that was the most information that we've ever gotten from a presser. The FBI didn't participate in any of the Idaho 4 pressers. They were involved, though. And then here, the sheriff, right? The FBI guy, right? I thought it was great. Lana has all the answers, but stays behind the mic. Go and solve crimes. I don't need to. That's not my job. That's not my role. I've never said that's my role. We all have a role. We all have to play it. And I just know that you keep on showing up, and I abso-fucking-lutely love it. I love that you keep showing up. Because the day that I would ever watch somebody or comment in a live, oh, I just love it. That tells you way more about you than it will ever tell me about me. Absolutely, Jesslyn. 100%. I cannot agree more. Go out there and solve crimes. You know how many crimes I've actually helped from sitting right the fuck here? You'd be surprised. Go ahead and ask them. Go call up Columbus. Go call up the families of the Tepe murders. Go call up, pretty soon here, you're going to be able to call up, like, oh, go ahead, Aliquippa. Go ahead and call up Tennessee here soon. Go ahead, ask them. Solve cases. Not my role. I didn't say I'm Deputy Lana. Fucking idiots.
And in Branson, for Monday's deadline, what was some of the thinking? You said that it was a much more serious tone. Was it something to the effect maybe that something could happen to Nancy?
That's the detail that we just do not
Look
know
at-
right now.
look at
The
this
Pima
fucking
County
idiot.
Sheriff did not share too much about that. They only shared very small details. A detail I will say that they also went into a little bit more was, we said it before, this ransom note, this alleged ransom note had items listed on it to then prove that this person was responsible for this and that they were the exact person. And
Okay, I personally don't think that you think about how you would write that in a letter. Dear FBI, dear family, dear media, to who this may concern. You know what I mean? Let the family know that I have the watch and that their floodlights out. Excuse me? You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it was said. How I think it would have been said is that how the watch disables certain things, but more importantly, that we know how long X, Y, and Z takes. You're going to talk about the medication. If you talk about the medication, somebody would listen. If you're not talking about the medication, then I'm not listening.
those items were an Apple Watch and I don't believe I have, an Apple Watch and a floodlight was listed on here, but they have not divulged any other information because they feel it could harm the case in the search.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely keep an eye on all of this and know that you guys will as well. Branson, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. Big takeaways today, and we'll wait for more updates.
Thank you, Mike.
Big takeaways.
All right, everyone, we'll take another 2-minute break. Stay right here with us. More to come in just moments on Live Now.
Okay. So that's that. Okay. Now you guys are like, hey, Alana, go to CNN. So I have CNN queued up. Hold on. What just happened? Oh, here we go.
Chris Anos. And Sheriff, I appreciate your time very much. And it's just
This
shocked
was
and saddened to be speaking to you about this.
after.
I know you say that Nancy Guthrie has been abducted. What makes you say that?
You know, there's first and foremost, we know that Miss Guthrie is got every, just like we said, sharp as a tack. Her wits are about her. This isn't somebody who wandered off. This is an elderly woman in her mid 80s who suffers some ailments that makes her mobility, her ability to walk around very difficult.
This isn't today, don't worry.
She couldn't go 50 yards, and that in and of itself is a concern. But then we also have some things at that scene that indicate to us that she was removed from that scene against her will. I can't go into all those details. It's not that I'm trying to be secretive. I get that everybody wants to know and they all want to help, and we appreciate it so much. But there is a case that we need to protect that integrity and continue working with our investigative leads.
But you are confident, Sheriff, just to be clear, that it was an abduction.
You know, I've been doing this for 50 years. I have a gut feeling, but you know, it came to me that yesterday in the early afternoon that she was abducted. We didn't know who she was, but we knew that we had this middle-aged, this mid-80s woman missing from our home. And so we have our search and rescue team out there who does great work all the time. And they are out all the time. I mean, it's almost daily. They just are. But something that they told me about that scene made me believe that there's more than just a missing person. So we wanted to.
And that would be the blood, right? So
continue with that search and rescue mission. And so we also.
And so when you say it's your gut on things at the scene, is there anything you can share that led you to that gut without sharing too much about the scene, as I know you're unable to do?
No, I really can't at this time. You know, we have people in the field right now doing some things with, of course, canvassing the neighborhood. Our search teams are back out there just to make sure we didn't miss some areas. Those are standard procedures. But what we also know is there's some evidence that we're trying to retrieve, and whether it's from cameras or digital evidence from cell phones, those technology that's so critical to us, our LPRs, our license plate readers, all of that.
right there, LPRs, license plate. I'm telling you, I cannot believe that nobody asked them about the flock cameras. We put in our FOIAs. We already put in our FOIAs. Like, we're going to get those flocks. Like, they can take up to 30 days though, but the flock cameras are totally ours. Like, there's no way around that. We got the FOIA. If you FOIA flock, you are getting that shit. If not, they will deflock you.
We think that once we get those things downloaded to us and have a look at them, we'll be in a better position.
So I know you would ask people for ring cameras or any other kind of information. Is that what you're referring to? I mean, have you been able to look at any of that to see, I mean, you know, whether she was taken in a car or a truck or a van or...
Yeah, what do you got?
Are you able to ascertain any of that from video footage that you have at this point, or is that still unknown?
It's still unknown. We're getting a lot of leads and a lot of that information is coming in, and we are looking at some cameras, but there's nothing specific to us. We're looking. Our priority right now is the home had some cameras that we need help in the download of. They're not copy paste. They're maybe on a server somewhere. But you know, I'll be honest, we've been getting great help from not just our law enforcement partners, the FBI, the local law enforcement agencies, and our state law enforcement partners, but even private businesses, Google, Apple, name them.
Okay, so they're like, we've done. Once the FBI comes in, they're going to be like, here. My question is here, are we doing those search warrants, or is the FBI doing the search warrants or subpoenas, I should say? Like, what's happening here? How are things being done here? Well, we're helping. Who's writing up these? I'm just curious. You know, you got to do things right for reasons, because you want to be able to prosecute down the road, right? I mean, ultimately, there's a crime that's happened here.
They're made up. Yeah. They've all been offering up assistance and help, and we greatly appreciate it. This is a big case to this community, because it's not often that it's never really that we see somebody in the middle of the night in their safe home environment in bed.
That's what's sick about it. Is that, you guys, if somebody knows where you live and they want to get to you, I don't care if you have surveillance. Okay. Yep. They're going to be able to go ahead and give you that timestamp maybe on that. Hey, this is when this would have happened. But guess what? It's already happened. Okay. It's already happened. So
all of a sudden disappear.
So you mentioned, and I don't know if I'm just making sure I heard you correctly. You said when you first found out about this, you didn't know who she was.
I think home invasions should be like, if you're going to make anything a death penalty case, that should be it.
And I think the first thing people wonder is, what was this a kidnapping for ransom?
How do we have any ways of protecting ourselves if we can't just have our home with our door locked and saying, you are not allowed in here? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
As her
But me is like, I'm like, dude, but the death penalty, like, just, hey, it's automatic. It's automatic. I think even burglary, like, you go into a home, fuck you. Fuck you.
daughter is who she is.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a kidnapping for ransom? Do you have any kind of a ransom note or anything that would indicate that? Or at this point, do you not know if that's the case?
No, we've been working with Ms. Guthrie's, Savannah Guthrie's security team and researching any potential threats.
Okay, we've been researching okay, so listen to that. You guys always have to go back to the beginning to make sure that you get all the good nuggets. Get it from the man. They were working right away with Savannah Guthrie's security team. So that tells you right there that she's right over here like, oh my God, they took my mother because of me, or so, like, not because she did anything, but just because, like, Jesus, like, who would know my mom? You know, my mom is just like 84 years old. Like, who's going to just take her because they want her? Like, you know? So she has her detail. She has her security team. That tells me that the Today Show they would have information if they wanted it. And I just don't see them pumping it out.
But no, we're not hearing anything like that. We've not seen that. We'll never rule it out. But no, we don't. That's not the direction we're going in right now.
Well, so do you think, I mean, I guess, again, I know a lot of this is.
Okay, so right here, no ransom. No ransom unless he's lying, right? That's not the direction that we're going in right now. No, you know. And so it's like, okay, after this question was posed, then somebody sends in a ransom. So I try to look at all the clues that could be out there to say, okay, could the ransom note be real, fake? Does the person that really have her did this? If you're just planning on killing her for whatever reason because you want to make these people like suffer, why didn't you just leave the body? Why would you take the body? You know what I mean? Maybe they are looking at crime differently. Maybe they're like, hey, no body, okay, no crime. But yet there's just blood all over the place, and you had plenty of time to clean it up, right? Yeah, don't you think you had plenty of time to clean up the blood? If you disabled the cameras, I don't know. There was no signs of a cleanup. And that's important.
Your gut at this point. So I know, you'll know what you know when you know it. But I mean, do you think this could have been random?
Anything is possible.
Wow.
Like I say, I protocols, our procedures, and just kind of systematically work our way through this.
Good.
The media has been tremendous help in getting us leads that we're able to chase down and work on. And this community's always supported us. When we come out and ask for help, they're right there. And so it is Ms. Guthrie, Savannah, is a member of this community, even though she may not live here. She's a strong part of our family, if you will. And this reaches out, and they're part of this case as well.
Sheriff, do you believe
that was interesting that he's talking about her and not like, what about Annie? You know what I mean? I think that's interesting that you're even mentioning her.
that Nancy was hurt when she was taken? I mean, I know it was against her will. So, I mean, do you think, we heard Jenna talk about her needing her medication. I mean, do you know anything about her condition?
We know, and of course, we don't want to get into her medical history, but we know that she, like I said, sound mind, capable, all of those things. She just had some physical ailments that limited her ability to move, to get around. But my goodness, we just know that, without getting into too much, it is our belief she was removed from that home against her will. We hope we're racing the clock here. You said that earlier. Her meds are important, and the family has told us 24 hours without those meds could be fatal. And here we are at 30 plus hours, if more. We really need, if somebody knows something, we just call us, just let her go, we'll come get her.
Okay, so now let's watch this again, knowing that we know that he knows that there's blood, right? So you want to see if he's being honest? Check it out.
Sheriff, do you believe that Nancy was hurt when she was taken? I mean, I know it was against her will. So, I mean, do you think, we heard Jenna talk about.
Right there. He did not want to answer that question. You see that? That's called a tell. Okay. I didn't see any of those tells when he was doing this past presser. But right here, now that we've gotten to baseline him a little bit, right there, he's like, God, I don't want to answer. I don't want to have to answer that. Okay. Not like a sign of like, I'm about to lie to you. He doesn't want to have to answer that.
Part of our family, if you will.
So here it is
And,
again.
This reaches out, and they're a part of this case as well.
Sheriff, do you believe that Nancy was hurt when she was taken? I mean, I know it was against her will. So, I mean, do you think, you know, we
Do you see his eyes close? See his eyes close.
was hurt when she was taken? I mean, I know it was against her will. So, I mean, do you think, you know, we heard
He does not want to envision that. He knows what he saw. This is why you guys join me at my channel. Okay.
Jenna talk about her needing her medication. I mean, do you know anything?
He's envisioning like, see that? It's horrible. It's horrible. Fucking horrible.
About her condition?
I
See that lip compression right there before he was about to talk? Damn.
We know, and of course, we don't want to get into her medical history, but we know that she, like I said, sound mind, capable, all of those things. She just had some physical ailments that limited her ability to move, to get around. But my goodness, we just know that. Without getting into too much, it is our belief she was removed from that home against her will. We hope we're racing the clock here. You said that earlier. Her meds are important, and the family has told us 24 hours without those meds could be fatal. And here we are at 30 plus hours, if more. We really need, if somebody knows something, we just call us. Just let her go and we'll come get her if that's the case. We just hope, we never give up hope. We'll always be hopeful that we find her safe and sound. But there is a side of this that we just can't ignore when we see things in front of us. We would not be doing our job if we did that.
See how he just told us that? See how he just told us, like, if we see stuff right in front of us, we just can't ignore. He saw the blood right in front of them. You know what I mean? You just can't ignore that. Like, there's blood there. We're not going to ignore that.
As people try to, I mean, everybody, of course, anybody who knows anything would call you. Do you know, I guess, what state she would be in as to whether she was hurt in that incident? Maybe you were obviously able to see evidence when you were in her home, but any kind of an injury that you might have thought she sustained in her abduction.
Okay, so ready for this? This person right here asking the questions, ready? She has 1000% knowledge of what that home looks like inside and outside, in my opinion. Because the way that she words this follow-up, and I think that she could be doing this for a favor for somebody to see, like, let's see how he would answer this, if I can trust him with this, because maybe we're going to reveal, like, that there is this ransom note. I mean, let's see. But that question tells me, because it's a follow-up. He just basically, you saw him, you read, God, come on, man, you do this for a living, right? If you do this for a living, you pay attention. I'm going to interview somebody. I'm going to watch their language. I'm going to watch not just what they're saying, but how they're moving.
Yeah, I just can't really speak to that right now.
Yeah.
See, he didn't lie. The follow-up was right there, and guess what? He doesn't lie. I just can't speak to that right now. Not gonna lie, but I can't speak to that.
But any kind of an injury that you might have thought she sustained in her abduction.
Yeah, I just can't really speak to that right now.
Yeah, all right, I understand. Is there anything else, Sheriff, that you want people to know about this, about her, that might help people be able to help you find her?
You know, yeah. If you see something,
Look, you walk by Nancy's house, I understand, every day walking your dogs, and I know you regularly saw her. You would talk to her as a neighbor might. So what is your feeling when as you describe your neighborhood? I mean, what is your feeling about what has happened here?
People feel unsettled. I would not say fearful, but obviously this is shocking. This is a very quiet, safe neighborhood.
He's gay.
We've lived here 6 years. It's actually a wonderful, wonderful neighborhood. This was a horrible event, and we're obviously hoping for her safe return.
Right there.
So when authorities came to your door, and I understand they did, last night I was talking to Sheriff Nanos, and he was saying, well, we're asking, everyone for any kind of ring cameras or anything. They were going door to door. What did they ask for, and what kind of help did you provide? And I guess, have they come repeatedly, or what?
Once again, and I have to say that the response has been amazing. Obviously, you hear the helicopter above, the drones, volunteer crews that are coming through that do search and rescue in the mountains here, who are scouring the neighborhood. They've asked us to check our back. As you noted, the lots are large. They're over an acre. So checking the scrub, but also asking if we could review our ring cameras. And unfortunately, as noted, this has been challenging.
Look, you walk by Nancy's house, I understand, every day.
Okay, so let's go back. We're going to look at next. I wanted to show.
He said was the indications at the home were so suspicious and unusual and unsettling that this has been really, all of them by Chef Arthur Sandby, first order, confounding and pretty grueling.
It's never easy. These are tough cases, but I just have such confidence in my team that they've time and time again have proven themselves. And I just know we're going to get this resolved.
Is there an area in Nancy Guthrie's house of particular interest where it was more clear that it was a crime than some other circumstance?
I wouldn't, again, I can't talk to specifics about what we have in that home. But there is definitely, in our eyes, on our belief, evidence that shows and suggests that she was removed from that home and against her will. And we continue to look at some data that we think is available. It's just taking some time to get downloads in that, whether it's digital imagery from a camera to tracking a cell phone. There's just a lot going on in technological sense of gathering that kind of evidence. So that's all taking place. I think I mentioned we're working with a lot of partners, not just in the law enforcement community, but in the private sector. Some of the big corporations, Apple, Google, whatever, they're all jumping in. So it's never fast enough, right? So that's our challenge.
Only if you're in Idaho.
There was a report that the front door was wide open. Is there any veracity to that report?
I don't know that that's accurate, because I
love it. I love it. I love it. He's like, where the fuck did she hear this from? I think he had to check himself. He's like, front door wide open. This is what I love it, right? Ready? We start realizing what people do in order to get information. You say wild ass shit. Hey, I heard the front door was wide open. What do we get out of that? No. So let's watch Ashley ask this.
There was a report that the front door was wide open. Is there any?
Okay, watch this. Watch the first question that she asks him. Okay, ready?
Here's my conversation now with Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. This has been really confounding and pretty grueling.
You know, it's never easy. These are tough cases, but I just have such confidence in my team that they
Straight on, right? Straight on, looking straight on.
time and time again have proven themselves, and I just know we're going to get this resolved.
Watch.
Is there an area
See, it looks up and to the right. Right? The first question was what?
in Nancy
Right? She didn't look up into the anywhere. She was right dead on.
the confounding and pretty grueling?
So just right to the camera, right to him, and then watch when she wants to talk about this ridiculous question.
Proven themselves, and I just know we're going to get this resolved.
Is there an area in Nancy Guthrie's house of particular interest where it was more clear that it was a crime than some other circumstance?
You know, I wouldn't.
So she was kind of remembering, is there an area? Okay, what was my next question going to be? Okay, now he talks. Now watch this.
Will and some downloads and that, but whether it's there's just a
Now here's going to be the question about the door.
lot going. So not just in the Apple, Google, whatever, right?
Open.
That's our challenge.
There was a report that the front door was wide open. Is there any veracity to that report?
You know, I don't know that that's accurate because it could be. I know that when we got there, the family was already there, and they'd already spent some time looking, as you would expect. Probably we got an hour delay there from them. Not anything intentional, just that, you know, they went and looked and made some calls, and then they decided we better call 911. So,
Was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside?
Google, whatever. I don't know that that was already
That report? There was a report that
There was no report.
the front door was wide open. Is there any veracity to that report?
That's inside knowledge.
You know, I don't know that that's accurate because it could be. I know that when we got there, the family was already there, and they'd already spent some time looking, as you would expect. Probably we got an hour delay there from them. Not anything intentional, just that, you know, they went and looked and made some calls, and then they decided we better call 911. So,
Okay, so a 10 a.m. service to 11 a.m. is what we're looking at, because otherwise it would not be possible that at 11 a.m. service, and if you were done at 12, then if you look around for an hour, you're looking at calling at 1 p.m.
Was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside Nancy's home or even inside?
I cannot give you that. I would tell you that.
Homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside?
Okay, so she had the ability here. This was a pre-record. You got him 1v1. Why are you doing this?
And made some calls, and then they decided we better call 911. So,
was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique?
They don't want to show what you look like when you're asking this and what he looks like when he's answering it, and that's just not cool.
That, you know, they went and looked and made some calls, and then they decided we better call 911. So,
was the homicide team able to ascertain any unique footprints outside Nancy's home or even inside?
I cannot give you that. I would tell you that it is our belief she did not leave that residence on foot.
Did not leave the residence, the actual home itself on foot, did not walk over.
She's smart.
What
Those items.
Did Ashley not tell him that she was recording this conversation? Like, why is this only the beginning part that's on? Think about this.
Some data that we think is available. It's just taking some time to. It's just. It is our belief she did not leave that residence.
Why would you go to pictures?
On foot.
did not leave the residence, the actual home itself on foot, did not walk over the threshold.
That is correct. We do not believe she left that home by herself on foot. That did not occur. And she has a vehicle.
She did not leave that home by herself on foot.
We have that vehicle. She is very capable of driving. Her physical limitation is really just her ability to move, to walk and those things. But she's certainly got a very, like I say, very sharp as a tack mind is function. She's got her wits about her and she can drive. So no.
But purse, cell phone, keys, wallet, and what else was left in the home that would very much indicate you don't leave without?
I don't know of all those items. I do know we've got her cell phone.
There you go. I don't know about all those items you speak of, and I would just love to see his face there because I would love to see like his face there. But he's like, I don't know. We know that
the rest. I don't know of all those items. I do know we've got her cell phone. The rest of those items, I really haven't heard that.
Interesting. I heard you say earlier, cell phone.
She just cuts him off like that.
That you were in
those items, I really haven't heard that.
Interesting. I heard you say earlier, cell phone, that you were in possession of her cell phone. There was a local report from Tucson saying the purse, cell phone were in possession.
Those items.
What this is like? I'm sorry, but what the fuck is going on here?
And what else was left in the home that would very much indicate you don't leave without?
I don't know of all those items. I do know we've got her cell phone. The rest of those items, I really haven't heard that.
Interesting. I heard you say earlier, cell phone, that you were in possession of her cell phone. There was a local report from Tucson saying the purse, cell phone, and keys and vehicle were all at the home.
That could be accurate, but I can't speak to that. I'd have to ask my team.
Okay. Is there any
I love it. I love how he said, I have to ask my team because he's not the one that's doing it all. Like
bedding from we're all at the home.
That could be accurate, but I can't speak to that. I'd have to ask my team.
Okay. Is there any missing bedding from the home?
Again, I can't speak to that.
Okay. Was there any blood?
Bedding. You know what sucks? This is what sucks. Let me tell you how this plays out. You agree to do an interview, right? Because you think that you're going to be just asked like this. You just want to get the news out, blah, 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 blah. And then you just get fucking blasted. Was there any bedding? Like, that's a specific thing, right? Bedding. Why don't you just ask her, was she naked? Did she go out there naked? I mean, bedding.
I can't speak to that. I'd have to ask my team.
Okay. Is there any missing bedding from the home?
Again, I can't speak to that.
Okay. Was there any blood found in the home?
There's DNA evidence we believe that we have found that we are going to submit, has been submitted for rapid DNA testing. Once that breaks down to us, I think we had to get it up to Phoenix. Everybody's rapid DNA testing machine here locally, for whatever reason, was out of service. But that is being looked at. Once we get that, we will submit what we can through CODIS and whatever else, whatever other DNA companies we need. Those things will be rush orders. We use here from the Sheriff's Department, DL Labs, and they do us pretty good on rush orders that can.
I mean, wouldn't you have loved to see what he looked like when he was answering these? I would have loved to have seen how he and her were
get us usually 5 to 10 days.
Are you able to tell me where was the DNA found that would indicate that this was DNA that was valuable to you?
It's from the home is all I can tell you.
Door handles?
I cannot go there. Yeah.
And first floor,
The reason being, Ms. Banfield, is simply this. I can tell everybody, we're not trying to be secretive. We understand everybody really wants to know what's going on there. But there are certain things in that home that we know only.
But like they're asking questions like that are like they're basically asking questions that would impede an investigation versus like asking questions about, have we heard any timeline questions yet asked? Like nothing. Like we know how strong the digital world is that we live in. And I haven't heard one single motherfucking question about no goddamn digital shit. And I don't understand why. Like, what time frame are we working here? What can we do to help here? We know how awesome Flock is, right? Like if there's a case to use it as, right, like something like this, right? This is why I think we would have Flock, not to like monitor us and go after people with it. But like none of that is occurring here. And I just like, this is from a while ago. This is, I don't know.
The intruder knows about and the things that occurred. And we don't want that information out. We need to protect.
fully respect that.
Yeah.
I have been to this rodeo many times and I understand your limitations and I respect them.
Why would you ask
without question? I'll ask, please feel free to tell me if you can.
Thank you. I just don't want to come
I won't
across.
hold it against you. I appreciate you. Cameras, I heard you say in your press conference there were cameras at the home, I believe, but I wanted to ask you if there are cameras inside the home and outside the home.
I know cameras outside. I don't know what was found inside pertaining cameras. I really just don't know that. But I do know they found some cameras outside that we're trying to get help from the companies and the makers of those cameras to see what else we can get out of them.
So you're looking to access them, but at this point, it's an access issue. You haven't been able to actually.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they could be, they could be cloud-based. We're not finding that. It could also be just on a server somewhere. We would rather than ourselves go into it, let the companies that are experts in this to take their time and get us what we can.
Hell
Of course,
yeah.
Savannah and the
Oh my
family
God, I
would
love this.
probably be privy to.
Like, oh my God, you guys, this is music to my ears. Why would we take a chance at fucking up a download? Having our people say, hey, yeah, just plug it in and let's just do a quick extraction. No, dude. I mean, I love these answers. I'm going to tell you what. I'm telling you, I want somebody to prove to me that this man is working me over because this man is saying things that 1000% matter. If you do a quick, stupid, logical extraction versus a full file system extraction, every time that you mess with a digital device that you're trying to download and get the information, every time that you try to do that and you're losing stuff if you don't get it the next time that you do it. This is music to my ears to hear that, listen, we got to do this right because we don't want to lose stuff, right? Us rushing at this. I just love it. I love it. I think that it's smart.
Passwords with an elderly relative. We all have elderly
Oh,
relatives.
sure. And the family is so cooperative. They're
right there. The family is so cooperative. Think about this. You just did an interview with the family, or I'm sorry, with the sheriff, and he's over here saying, "Oh my God!" And the family is so cooperative, so cooperative. And the next thing that we hear is that, holy shit! Well, I have a source that says that the brother-in-law is the main suspect, and I'm just like, "Oh my God." I just have a level of like, how do you do that to this man? I want to know how people do this. I interview somebody. I take an interest in their case. I take an interest in their families. Like, oh my God, like this is like them at their worst. Like they're vulnerable. So if I was like in communication with somebody's family or family members or whatever, you start feeling that a sense of like, if you can't say the word professionalism, then maybe like loyalty would come. I could never fuck somebody over. Right? So listen to what he's saying here.
And the family would probably be privy to passwords with an elderly relative. We all have elderly
Oh,
relatives.
oh, sure. And the family is so cooperative. They're every time they want their mom back.
And Savannah, with a criminal justice background and a lawyer, is going to be extraordinarily helpful as
She
a,
has been.
as a teammate, more so than the average victim's family member might be.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what an average victim family would be like, but I would
They don't
tell
think
you
like
that,
you. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't think like you. But Savannah is brilliant.
yeah, I've no doubt. I have no doubt.
We used to work together, and we're colleagues and we're friends, and so this is
Yeah.
very perfect.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wasn't expecting that. We're colleagues and we're friends, and we're going to put out that the brother-in-law. So that means that Savannah wanted that out there. If I'm colleagues and friends with somebody, then I have the balls to call and text my friend and say X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm about to put this out. I'm just, I'll never be a hoe and I'll never be a whore. And I just want to know how one takes grandpa here and literally bends him over, okay? And he likes it. And then I think that I'm just going to go over here and let grandpa watch me live fuck him, but he didn't get to participate in the fucking. I don't get it. He just said that the family was so cooperative, and they're just, then to come out and say, I have a law enforcement source who's one of my best, who's involved in this investigation, and he says that the son-in-law is a prime suspect. And I'm just like, oh my God, wait a second. How did you gather? What the fuck is going on? This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. Like, what the fuck? You got to go back, you guys. You got to go back to the beginning of this just 4 or 5 day roller coaster, okay? And that's what I'm choosing to do, because I'm choosing to try to wrap my head around just this big watermelon that just, wow. I just can't imagine. Like, just
Personal to me, as well as
I'm
my
sorry.
dog, also my friend.
She's a good lady with a good heart, and we're not going to give up. We'll get
to
there.
that. License plate readers and other ring
Sure,
cameras and
there's-
license plate readers in that vicinity. Have you been able to get them? Have you been able to look?
All of those things have been requested for preservation, have been sent to us. So
you guys, that's the first time. Listen to this man. We've sent all of the preservation orders in. That's the most important thing. You have to get the preservation orders in, and then it's going to preserve all the data, because guess what? We know that we can't get to everything, but we need to preserve all this data. Do you hear this, man? This is like nothing we've ever heard before. Where have you ever heard somebody talking like this? People that think that this man's dumb. This is the first time that I've heard a man say the word preservation, which is the most important thing. We're preserving the evidence. We have our preservation orders in. That means we make sure that it stays. It's just, Ashley knows that I don't hate her. Ashley knows that I love her. This gets her more views. Trust me. She knows it. But thank you at this, Susan. I don't get the hate for Ashley. I don't hate watch. I've shown everybody that's interviewed him, right? No? Fucking A. I want to know how it turned. He's saying everything that's great here. Oh my God, he's preserving the evidence, Lana, something that we didn't see happen at all in the Idaho 4 case. Yeah, exactly. Something that you've been saying, like, oh my God, where's the preservation orders? Like, that's what's the normal, like, when you want to talk about, hey, is something handled to the best practices? Are they deviating from the norm? They're not deviating. I cannot believe this. This is amazing to hear this, like him speaking about that we're preserving everything. That's the most important thing that you need to do in the first 7 days with digital evidence, is make sure that we're preserving it.
in the process of doing all that.
Have you been able to get them? Have you been able to look?
All of those things have been requested for preservation, been sent to us. So we're in the process of doing all that.
Getting eyeballs on them, but nothing so far. No prowler in the neighborhood so far that you've been able to identify.
Prowler.
No, we've not identified any suspect. Now, remember, there are people in that neighborhood right now, and they're doing some things. Maybe they've learned something that I'm not aware of yet, but so far I've not been briefed to anything like that.
In the Tepe murder in Columbus, Ohio, the police came up very quickly with a figure, a sort of a skulking figure walking through the back alley. And they now say that allegedly is Monique Tepe's ex-husband and that he was the double murderer. So these images can be extraordinary.
There is no doubt. That's why I said we really want to be careful about any kind of person of interest until we get that digital download and can say, hey, this may be somebody we need to be looking at.
I also want to be very clear about the wording. I don't want to get this wrong. You mentioned she did not leave that home on foot. And I want to make sure that you're talking about she did not walk out that front door, even with someone, that somebody took her out that front door and past her driveway.
Right. So I'm not going to tell you what door they used or anything. We believe she was forced out of her home. Whether she walked out of her home or was carried out, that we don't know. But we do know she left that home against her will.
Okay, and thank you for the clarity. I do remember hearing you say that Mrs. Guthrie, her limited mobility limits her to walking barely 50 yards, which would indicate that a car would have had to be close by in order to make some kind of egress. Did you find tire tracks?
You should have this badge on you. You think like us. Yes, that's exactly right. We agree. We think that, look, the family tells us she couldn't walk 50 yards. You just couldn't. And you know, I think there's some frustration about, well, why are you continuing searching if you know she can't walk 50 yards? And it is because it is a process. We have to follow those processes, even if they don't make sense to some people, because what if we're wrong? What if we just miss something? We don't want to be there. We want to make sure we've done as thorough a job on both ends, on the search and rescue mission piece and the criminal investigative piece.
Any indication of tire tracks that weren't her vehicle?
No, we don't have any tire tracks, no.
Nothing to go on for tire tracks. Because again, with her limited mobility, to get her any further away from the front of that house would have required some kind of a conveyance, a vehicle of some kind. That,
again, that's our belief. And of course, I think the driveway, it's not going to be conducive that surface. It's almost like not even a gravel, but it is almost a paved surface, so it wouldn't be conducive to
no mud, no unusual. You know how mud can be brought from another region area, and that's very helpful in the investigation, but nothing like
from another regional area. Bambi, I love you. She's like, do you know if that's soil? Can we get some? Is that soil that's on that driveway? Is that from Mexico? That's thinking outside the box, but they're just not to that level yet. And now that people have just trampled all the fuck over it, you know, just all right. Yeah. I love it.
that.
No, we're not seeing anything that suggests that.
And no snow, so no snow tracks.
No.
Yeah. It's not because she is Arizona, baby. There ain't no snow on this piece.
Did she have a security system?
There we go.
No, I don't believe so. We've not heard that. I don't believe she did.
I heard you make a mention, and it.
And you're talking about like an alarm.
Yeah, like an alarm system.
No, we've not heard anything like that.
Okay. I heard you mention. It just broke my heart. There were upwards of 100 security vehicles, law enforcement vehicles at this home. I mean, this is an all-out assault on finding.
Yeah, because it's unusual that, we get so many search and rescue missions. I trust our search and rescue teams, and they have probably close to 100 volunteers in that regard. But they get out and they do such a great job. But in this briefing I received yesterday in the middle of the day it was a briefing that alerted me to something at that house that said, no, there's something really not right here. And you know, you've been doing this for 50 years. You get a gut instinct. I've had gut instincts before and been wrong too. So trust me. But I just felt like there's more here than just a regular.
Like, how do you not just love this guy? He's like, I've had gut instincts, but they've been wrong. You know, I'm not perfect. But this just seemed like to scream at me. Okay. So going back to see where things have gone, I could see somebody saying that like a Ring camera is not an alarm system. Like nothing's alerting us. Like that's why I think that's awesome that he said that. He's like, oh, you mean like alarm system, right? Because like a Ring camera or a Nest camera, that's not alarm systems. Your Ring camera is alerting you as, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. So I think that was how he answered. That was awesome. He came back and said like, well, you mean like alarm system? Because she said security system. And he's like, an alarm system. Like nothing's alarming us. You know, every time that you get that notification, the cops don't, you know, there's not an alarm. So, okay. Let's go take a look at some newer. So this was the older stuff, just so, you know, we can see where this has moved. And I think it was so great how he was like, you know, I get everybody's hanging on to every word I say. So I just love him. I think he's a good dude. Yeah. I think a lot of this dude. He's been so transparent. Like this is like how don't people like just love this man? I feel like we can call. Do you understand that they put a little notice out saying, hey guys, can you guys just stop calling the 911 line to tell us that you want to give the family condolences and that you're praying for them? Like we appreciate all of this, but you guys are tying up the 911 service line. That's pretty crazy, right? Like, right? No? So, oh boy. So let's see here. Savannah, there we go. Yep.
Guthrie.
So Cameron, he's like, you didn't speak. You know, this is probably what people say. Like, why did the brother speak? Now he's like, okay, I'll speak.
We'll have more news in reaction to Trump RX in a moment, but we now have a Fox News alert. Savannah Guthrie's brother, Cameron, just posted a video on Instagram moments ago.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you and we are waiting for contact.
Joining me live from Tucson, Arizona is Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor, former NYPD inspector. Paul.
What do you guys think?
The brother Cameron didn't speak much in that first video of something so intense.
Laura, and what he's doing very clearly is re-emphasizing the message that was delivered yesterday in that first video, which was, if in fact that ransom note that came in by email that we've all heard about that went to TMZ and some of the local outlets, not the one for which somebody was arrested today. That was just a tag-along of somebody who was trying to make a score. But the one that the FBI is pulling at and the task force is working, that did not include any protocols to communicate with the kidnappers. And so if you're sitting where the family is, you're saying to yourself, even if we want to pay, and I think that's the subtext here, there's no way to set up an exchange so that they know they can get their mother back, which of course is part and parcel of any.
So what you're hinting at is the fact that there was a ransom demand to pay X amount of millions Bitcoin, but there was no like, you know, how to have this happen. Yeah, no, I don't buy that right now.
Kidnapping, and you see this in the ransomware world. There's special protocols to set up that you can speak so that the perps don't reveal who they are and where they are. These people have not done that, and I think it undermines the potential genuineness of this ransom note that came in by email.
Yeah, Paul, at first we thought it was perhaps another hoax. after they're clearly prosecuting those who seek to try to benefit from this in a sick and twisted manner. They've already, they're already prosecuting one individual.
How are you benefiting from this by what? By calling in, by sending a fake ransom right now? There's already a like, you know what I mean?
So I'm sure there'll be more. But there must be an indication that beyond just the Apple Watch, that there's something here. And the significance, it's something you've addressed, of authorities not revealing how the kidnappers got into that home. I don't think that can be overstated. That is very important.
It is, of course. And, there's an interesting point that came out today in the press conference. The sheriff backed away the idea that there'd been forcible entry. And that's a bit of a 180.
By anything.
And I'm going to tell you why I find that significant, Laura.
Oh, my God. He didn't back away by that. He's saying that we've never commented on it. We've never commented on it. So what he's setting straight is that the person that's out there saying X, Y, and Z, we've never commented on it. That's all. He's trying to discredit the person that put it out there without saying, hey, that person, you know what I mean? Like, now how does this get spun like this? Dear Jesus.
They initially said that they got DNA and that they sent it off for a very rapid fire analysis, would take 12, 14 hours to get back. And I asked a question today. Are you using that DNA to do genetic genealogy investigation, as they did in the Koberger case, to try to get a relative or something like that? And I got kind of a shaky answer. My point being,
I didn't get a shaky answer. I heard it straight up. First of all, why would they ever use genetic genealogy right now? What the hell are you doing? What are you talking about?
I don't think the DNA is panned out. They didn't get any alien DNA. I think they would have gone to that, just like we were told unequivocally that there's no video. And, I hate to be a damper, but let's remember something very casually.
Your question
they
sucks.
let slip today. That is, the sheriff said, one of the things we're going to be doing is blanketing the area with billboards. If you thought you were going to get video, if you thought you might be working a good piece of DNA, if you thought you had a good digital lead or video lead from cameras relative to a car or something, would you be going to billboards?
Would you be going to billboards? That's about the $50,000 reward. How do you want everybody to know about the $50,000 reward? Everybody, where's the reward money? Where's the reward? That's what billboards are always about. It's the fucking reward money. I can't even. These people are sick. I'm the one that asked that question. Yeah, your question fucking sucked. And he answered your question. And the FBI guy said, well, I mean, yeah, we're not opposed to doing IgG. Okay. If it comes to that, but a good person, just like how he answered it is why the hell are we going to IgG? That's the last resort because it's that fucking ridiculous. Give me a break.
Found that somewhat dampening, but I don't want to be a killjoy. I want to say I do think that they will solve this, but of course it's a matter of time here because of her illness and her age.
This isn't about solving at this point. I would let these people get away with it. I don't want to solve it. I just want my mom back. How about that? That's the humane call here. When you're reaching out and basically saying like, we're willing to deal with you, whatever you want, like we don't tell authorities like, please just, we don't care if they do anything. And then everyone's gonna be like, well, damn, that's not how you deal with terrorism. They always say that until it's your loved one, right? And then all the book goes out the window, right?
Yeah, there were a number of things that were said at this press conference that, and again, you're the expert here, but that sounded curious to the layman, the laywoman. And one of them was when the sheriff.
Wait, I am dead. What? You guys, I'm over here saying this was the best press conference that I've ever heard. Here, this woman's like, to the lay woman, this was like really like just mind blowing. Let's just talk about like this press conference to the average lay.
Curious to the layman, the laywoman. And one of them was when the sheriff conceded that he didn't get to the scene until late in the afternoon.
The fuck? They didn't even talk about that. Wait, that didn't come out in this press conference. What is she talking about? In this press conference, they put out a goddamn timeline that said they got called at 11:56. I'm sorry. They got there at 11:56, 12:03, 911, and then we got there 10 minutes after. Excuse me, this is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. What the fuck are you talking about?
Or almost 7 p.m., I guess. But he didn't realize, if it may be relevant, right, to who the suspect is. He didn't realize that it was Savannah Guthrie's mother until late in the afternoon. And he's receiving, it's easy to be an armchair critic and so forth. He's receiving a lot of criticism, or the Pima County Sheriff's Office is.
What's your question? If I was him, I'd be like, what's your question? This sounds like a rambling fucking argument. Are you a lawyer? Because it sounds like you want to argue this fucking opinion somewhere. What's your question? No, he didn't talk about anything to do with when they responded, that there was so much time that elapsed, and that now you're trying to say, I didn't even know it was Savannah Guthrie's mom. That's probably because, I don't know, maybe the 911 callers weren't saying, do you know who the hell we are?
Like to know your reaction to the timeline of the authorities and the securing of the scene, etc.
So it may have.
So what was your question? Would have been my response to that. Come again? Come one more time, girl.
Come over to him like just an elderly missing. And so if there were people there, that is his people there working the situation, and they didn't realize the significance of who she was, they might have been thinking, well, you know what? It's an elderly person. Maybe she wandered off. We're going to canvass for her. Maybe we got a missing person. It wasn't until they figured out a couple of things. Maybe you see the blood droplets on the front of the house. They put the connection together to Savannah, that they really started to ramp up and realize, hey, we very well may have something worse. And then, of course, the Ring camera from the front of the house is ripped off, and various other things that we've heard about, maybe something broken inside the house, maybe began to coalesce for them later in the day when they realized, hey, this is not a garden variety missing. But I think,
you guys, are we listening to the same thing? Did they watch the same press conference that we watched?
the underlying point is it's very hard to consider that this would be non-targeted. The chances, it's not like the house screams wealth. It's a nice house. It has a pool and all of that, but it's not like, the chances of it happening like just, okay, they were going to do a random burglary and it turns out to be Savannah Guthrie's mother. That's pretty remote. And so you have to think targeted.
How about just look at the fact that there was nothing taken? Was there any valuables taken? Okay. You don't even have to think about look at your regular case scenario. Okay. There's supposed to be a woman inside. She's not there. Are any of her valuables gone? Nope. Okay. Well, this seems like and then there's blood right there. Mm-hmm. That in and of itself is oh my God, somebody kidnapped an 84-year-old, right? That in and of itself, right there, right? That's not normal. Who kidnaps 84-year-olds? Okay.
Somebody who knew the target, somebody who knew the area, someone who had done some recon. And that argues to me something more localized than some of the theories we're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, again, the fact that the FBI is big presence in Tucson. I mean, there are a lot of missing people across the United States every week, and there's a huge FBI presence. And knowing President Trump, and he's doing this big RX event tonight at the White House, but knowing President Trump, I could imagine him watching the press conference, the first press conference, and getting really frustrated because I think.
Are you kidding me? Are we serious right now? This is what is being broadcast on Fox News Alert? This is insane. These people are insane. Don't make fun of her. Don't make fun of her, lady. Don't make fun of who? Lana, yes, she's an attorney. She clerked for judge. I don't give a shit who the fuck she is. She's an absolute fucking asshole to ask these questions. Okay, this is crazy. This is absurd. Have some balls. I don't give a fuck who you are. Behave better than this shit.
That
the brother just came out and said this, right? And then this is what she goes from. What is she doing?
We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Joining me live from Tucson, Arizona, is Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor, former.
Joining me here tonight, and all of you motherfuckers. And we're gonna make some shit up. Like, wow. Just like, wow. Bizarre. Just bizarre. Just like, let's talk about the case. No.
That they got DNA and that they sent it.
Afternoon. A number of things that were said at this press conference that, and again, you're the expert here, but that sounded curious to the layman, the laywoman.
I just want to use that as the clip. I think that clip is amazing. To the lay woman, to the layman. Everybody get laid.
County Sheriff's Office is. I would like to know your reaction to the timeline of the authorities and the securing of the scene, etc.
What's your opinion, Lori? What's your opinion?
So
of that?
it may have come over to him like just an elderly missing. It's very hard happening like just someone had done some recon.
Event tonight at the White House. But knowing President Trump, I could imagine him watching the press conference, the first press conference, and getting really frustrated. Because I think that the information provided was unclear, whether it was targeted, not targeted, entry, forcible, not. And it's being described tonight in a place like the Daily Mail as bumbling. And he.
What? Are these people for real? Is she for real? Trump said, hey, we have here's everything at our disposal. What are you talking about? This is crazy. Dude, you are a paid motherfucking puppet. Everybody, mainstream media, suck my titties tonight. Let's get down. Yeah. I heard you guys like those type of parties. Woo! I'll be there. Yeah. So I can videotape that shit wilding out. This is some... Call this shit out. I don't care what channel you're on. I think that this is fucking nuts. What do you mean? Trump's not over there talking about, oh, look at this investigation. It's just fucking nuts, man. Like, get out of here. I hope to God that's not what he's fucking worried about right now. This is nuts. Let's just get wild.
He really likes Savannah Guthrie. And I just think he was like, this is ridiculous. We've got to get professionals in there.
I think he likes Savannah. We gotta get some. Who's in there then? Not professionals? Dude, this is nuts. This is amazingly nuts. Oh my God. I mean, are we watching SNL? This is SNL, so stop messing with me, Sherry D, sending me this shit.
He really likes Savannah Guthrie. And I just think he was like, this is ridiculous. We've got to get professionals in there. I mean, that's how I'm reading this. Maybe it's wrong, but it seems to me that at the outset, this could have been handled a lot better and perhaps with a quicker result.
Well, one thing I would say is that certainly the messaging could have been better. It's hard to see behind the scenes.
What messaging? What the fuck are you people talking about? Nobody has been in danger. This is an 84-year-old woman that was taken out of her home. What do you mean? What messages are getting skewed here? There is not a serial elderly kidnapper out there. This is... Dude, they are just grasping at straws. They're just like, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this is nuts. You guys incite fucking chaos. Where there this is why I can't fuck with y'all, man. Like, this isn't real life right here. This is wild.
I would just say this, Laura. We had the same kind of reaction, or many people did, relative to the Koberger case, relative to the Tyler Robinson case, relative to the Luigi Mangione.
Wait, what are you talking about? 4 people were slayed in their home, like murdered in their home. College students. Okay. That's the Idaho 4 case. Okay? Like, what the fuck? And then the Tyler Robinson case, Charlie Kirk case, a man was literally assassinated on goddamn live television. What the fuck is going on? I can't breathe. This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. What the fuck are you talking about?
Case, two of those pieces are
True.
still innocent until proven guilty. But we all want the instant gratification. Sometimes the messaging isn't great in these situations. Maybe it's law enforcement that's not used to dealing with such a big case, although they've had big cases here. But I get the impression they got their legs under them now, and they're really searching hard.
You guys, this is after today's amazing press conference that gave the most elaborate timeline. He gave every person in there a question and a follow-up. After they went ahead and had the FBI talk and he talked, every single person was there. They got a question and a follow-up question. Where has that ever happened? Oh my God. This is in the Idaho 4 case. People were lying about being about being affiliated with media to ask if a female could have done this. We got people saying, are these people gagged and bound? What in the world? These people, we got the most elaborate. I mean, why are they going ham for my favorite fucking sheriff? This should just tell you that they will swing and sway anything for literally a view. Because he was in the room. This motherfucker got a question and a follow-up question. He asked about IGG. You know what, IGG? Yeah, you know me. Idiot. Absolute idiocracy right here. Absolute idiocracy. And I don't give a shit. I never plan to be on mainstream media. My goal is to that's not my aspirations in life. I'm aspiring to do exactly what I love to do, which is call out the bullshit, go after the corruption, expose the shit out of it. And you know what? Make all you motherfuckers laugh a little bit while we do it, because this shit, there's a lot of sadness. Okay. And I know what the Factory of Sadness produces. It produces the Cleveland Browns. And in true crime, it is literally dead. We're dealing with a lot of death. But guess what? When we find this right here, we can laugh at this. This is ridiculous.
There's something they can pursue. This is where the FBI is going to, I think, be so crucial, because it's going to be digital stuff. Did something hit her Wi-Fi? They're going to be looking going backwards, not just the night of. You got to see, was somebody in there shouldn't have been? Was somebody in there a lot? Was somebody stalking Savannah? There's a lot of digital work. And what you can do now, the Bureau can do now, is they have AI capacity. And you can cut down by weeks the amount of work you would have to do, the real footwork. And so I'm still very hopeful. As I said in these other cases, I've name checked.
Then why don't you ask any questions about that AI? Why don't you ask anything about Flock? Because it's so controversial. Is that why? You little pussy.
They're going to get there.
Pussy.
But it's a matter of time, because you have this elderly woman.
Wait. And then they just said, he's saying it's a matter of time. Dude, this guy talks out of both sides. Both sides. Why aren't they? I'm sorry, but like, wow. We got to find something to talk about.
Yeah, and again, time is not necessarily on our side here, as we hope for the best. And the sheriff said, we are acting as if she is very much alive. Paul, you've been on this from the first moments. Thank you very much. And if you're just joining us, moments ago, Savannah Guthrie's brother released a new video about the abduction of his mother.
This is Cameron Guthrie.
After a 20-minute rant, we're going to go back to what matters here is that, hey, we're out here again. You know, come on.
I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Hey, great job. Awesome. Totally happy that we just did that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. So next up on this lovely night, let's go over here. GG, yeah, you know me. This is why I come to Atlanta for the facts. Mainstream media is ridiculous. Also, Atlanta cracks me up. I have laughed. Yeah, don't you guys just love when you get a little like, that was kind of funny, you know? I mean, ridiculousness. We got to blame somebody though, right? Okay, here we go. Breaking, arrested. Ransom note, Nancy. Here we go. Here's JLR. Here we go. Ready?
Not only that, in it.
Let's see how he feels about life right now.
Defense attorneys. We got any defense attorneys up
in this piece. Let's see what Jonathan Lee Rich is. Jonathan, I just ordered the same glasses.
Potential fines. Violations include ransom demands up to 20 years. Kidnapping, injury threats up to 5 years, and extortionate threats to reputation or property up to 2 years. He faces 20 years.
20 years.
20 years for sending ransom, harassment, demands to the Guthrie family. That's the guy on the right. Apparently got picked up at his girlfriend's house. Blue hair.
Blue hair, don't care.
Count two. On or about February 4th, 2026, Derek Kalalala. In interstate or foreign communications, made a telephone call and utilized a telecommunications device, whether or not conversation or communication ensures text, without disclosing his identity with the intent to abuse, threaten, or harass. And
oh my gosh, look at all this shit.
Shortly after the video was published, AC and TC, the daughter and son-in-law of NG, both separately received a text message from the following phone number.
What?
AC and TC. AC. So she actually goes, and that's Annie, but it's not Annie Guthrie, it's Annie Cioni.
Yeah.
And Tommaso Cioni. So this is interesting because the sheriff today said, you're putting names out there. They could be potential victims too. Guess what?
They are.
Guess what? In this particular case right here, it's Tommaso and AC, Annie, being a victim from this guy. AC and TC, the daughter and son-in-law, both separately received a text message from the following number. It shows the number. Stating, did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction. Holy smokes, this guy's...
Oh my God. I want to read this myself. Can we get a printout of this? Oh my God, this is amazing. Dude, I love it. Go after these people. JLR. Oh my God, I love it. Get these bastards. Hell yes. Thank you so much, Jackie. Appreciate that. Lady Jane, the FBI needs to school big media. The FBI just needs to stay in their lane. I'm not going to lie. Come on when you are asked to help and do not be doing anything illegal. Don't be trashing our shit over here, okay? We just are asking for your like, here, you have all these resources. All we are asking for, okay, is in front of me. You're going to operate that little machine right there, okay? Dude, I'd be a nut about that. I'd be like, I want everybody's name, sign right here. See your face right there? I'm going to take a picture of you. This is wild.
Crazy. He texted to Annie and Tommaso, and he said, did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction. AC and TC received these texts while in Arizona. This guy's crazy. Law enforcement was able to determine through open-end source methods that the 0552, that's his last four numbers, was associated with the voice over internet protocol, VoIP, text and call application that allows users to obtain another phone number for their mobile device separate from the number assigned to them by their wireless carrier. What an idiot. He knows. What a dummy. The FBI is watching everybody's phones that are numbers that are coming in. And if you're going to try to use a VPN, they're going to do every single investigative tools or VoIP to get that person. And this guy tried trolling him. I don't know. Was he serious?
I don't know.
Or we respectfully ask that these messages be shared on social
This
media.
to me was great. Hello, guys. We understand that many people want to share their thoughts and prayers with the family of Nancy, and we appreciate the community's support. We respectfully ask that these messages be shared on social media and not through PCSD non-emergency phone lines. Calls expressing condolences have overwhelmed our communication staff, and it's crucial that the line remain available for law enforcement purposes. Like, what the fuck are people thinking? I just want to call and just tell the family that we're thinking of them and they're in our thoughts and prayers. This is nuts. Have people like literally lost their minds? Who is calling up right now and saying, I just want to, can you please get a message to the family? We're thinking about them and we love them. Like, how could anybody think in their right mind that that's appropriate? Like that's like, what the fuck are you doing? There is a ransom demand out there right now. Let's just flood the lines. I mean, these are the people that you just wonder when you were in grade school with, and you're looking to your right and you're looking to your left, and you got fence to the right, fence, and you're just like, wow, which one of you motherfuckers is going to be that person when we graduate, one day? Who are you going to be? Well, just think back in grade school. Who do you pick out? Tommy, Susie?
Through the PCSD non-emergency line. Calls expressing condolences have overwhelmed our communication staff. That's pretty creepy.
What?
That's
TLR, what'd you find over here?
There he is.
Who is it?
There musical?
Wait, what? This is the guy that called in the fake ransom? Look at Taylor.
What the heck?
Look at Taylor. Oh my god. Taylor, I love you. Creepy.
That's like, what kind of music is that?
Who knows? Who cares?
There he is with the boot. It's like, I don't know, man.
What is this? Feds arrest man who allegedly texted family about Bitcoin. Unbelievable.
So, but as you can see, the cars go lining right up here. They go way up here.
This is good stuff.
This is good stuff.
Here it is.
Okay.
Hey, nice to meet you. Let me put this on mute. So,
this is some good stuff. He's out there in front. We finally got a stream out there in front of the house. Dude, it's a media circus in front of Nancy's house. We're at Nancy's home. This is the crime scene. And people are out there because, this is a huge case. Everyone wants to, what's up with the ransom stuff. Everyone wants Nancy found. They want to know who did this, who's responsible.
I do.
Well,
I'm a member of the channel.
At this point, this is turning into the biggest true crime case of the year. It really is.
My God.
This is a crazy story. Crazy.
I can't believe he's actually not there. I'm
all camped out there. They could be out there for days. This could be like another Brian Laundrie type thing. They were out there for days. They were out there for 6 weeks. This is movie level. It literally is. We're on movie level here. This is a turning.
You guys, I love JLR. People either love him or they hate him. And the reason I love JLR is we disagree on every probably case possible. But I love his work ethic. Okay. He puts in the work. How can you not he shows up, right? And I'm just like, you have to respect that. You can say, oh my God, but he sees a case one way and I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're reading, but that's fine. He still shows up, right? So that's why in my chat, it's never going to be members only to chat. Like, it's be a subscriber. Okay. And just be respectful, and you can have any opinion you want because it is First Amendment, right? It's just that simple. I don't know. I don't know.
Into the twists and turns, and the plot twist, and the characters that are coming in. I mean, look at the person we just shared. This guy. Who knows who else is going to make their debut in this movie? Simulation. It's like real time. It's like we're living in like I don't know,
dude. Yeah, right. He's come a long way from Sandy Hook.
I do miss being there. I actually want to go.
He served time in federal prison.
I'm itching. I'm telling you. It's just the logistic wise, it takes 10 to 12 hours out of my time for travel and everything like that. But I think it's necessary. I think we can do things
Rich
there.
Why did you do it? Brad Weber, why did you do it? Right? You like that? I came right back with it.
See what's up. I would plant a camera there. I'd plant cameras all over the place and just wait. And we just sit there and wait. And we'd be on FBI watch. I wouldn't be shocked if Cash Patel comes here.
Dude, this is what's happening though right now. Like, it's just like, I'm shocked at the amount of cameras that are here though. This was like the Lacey Peterson.
He muted it because he's talking to some
reporter. Hey, right there, shout out. There's
I mean, the last time that we've had this type of cameras with the amount of different media people there.
Right there he is. The Stellar. Tim Stellar himself.
This guy's hilarious. He's there filming.
Nice.
Look at this. He's like,
this is 857 Tucson.
That's the first.
We got a live feed.
Look at the terrain. Is she out there in the woods there?
Look at that. It's so secluded, man. Look at that. Dude, so secluded. You know, wow.
Welcome in, AZ Sun.
AZ Sun. When was this?
Investigation. I think we all just wish that it had progressed and there's something positive.
Oh, is this a neighbor?
Or what's the last 5 days from for you?
I think everybody feels the and I've just been very alarmed over not on my it's I'm just going in that
If there was no forced entry, then someone
for real. There's a conspiracy here. There's something. There's something. One sole person couldn't get Nancy out of that house. I don't believe it. I don't believe one sole person. I believe that you have to. One person's not sophisticated enough to do this alone and do this. Just pull this off. Pull this off. One person, nah.
Best thing you said all day, JLR. Man after my own heart, right there. Think about it. If you're gonna carry somebody out of there, dude. I just can't believe more people aren't talking about the blood. The blood just automatically stops. How does the blood just stop? Something would have had to have happened to make the blood stop. Like what had the blood on it? How does it just stop right there? How is there not like trail all the way to like you get into a car or goes to like the grass or something? Like how does the blood stops where basically it starts? That's impressive. And I say where it starts because we haven't been inside the house. So it could have started inside the house.
There had to have been some idea where you bamboozle and conspiracy stuff. Now, I just want to... Greed overtakes logic, I guess. But there is some level of smarts here because she's not found. So the people that did this, or person that did this, but I think it's people.
Yeah.
Has to have some intelligence in a sense.
Yeah,
because they've been able to outmaneuver the police for now.
Yeah. Just that's how I felt about the that's where, you know, you want to talk about like being protected. If you have the advantage of, hey, knowing law enforcement's every move ahead of time before they make the move, it's a lot that's the type of intel that will keep you, you know, not being caught.
Oh, I think police know who did this. You just have to prove it. You have to prove it.
Wow. He's coming with it. Like, I think police know who did this. They just have to prove it. I don't know about that.
You have to prove it. Might know it. Plus, if she is alive and you arrest the person responsible, you might blow that opportunity to get her alive because then at that point, you just kill her.
I agree with that. 1000% right there. That's called logic. That's called logic. Get all eyes on the people that you think did it, right? Because if you think you know who did this, then they're communicating with somebody else that like would have the person. And so that person, you know, is how are they being communicated with? That's why I don't think that it's the family. If you're fully cooperating, right, then they have access to all your phones and shit like that. And then, well, we don't know if they have burners. People are going to say, yeah, blah, blah, tower dump it. I just don't think it's the family.
The person, whoever has her, she's somewhere. Is she alive? Is she alive? She very well could be alive. She very well could. But this is a life. If she's found alive, though, whoever did this is getting life. This is a life case.
Whoever did this is getting life. How about, like, let's talk about why anybody would do this. What's your motive? Think about it. Nobody just went out and was like, oh, I'm going to go steal an 84-year-old, So let's talk about motive. What's your motive? What would be anybody's motive here? And if anybody says they ever commit a crime, and do you think that they planned on getting caught? Don't you think people plan things to not get caught? So, like, what would be your end game? Like, how do you think that you're getting away with it? Like, do you think they went in saying, okay, so this is the best case scenario. We're going to do this, and we're going to get the money, and she's going to go right back, and life's going to be great, And it's just going to be a week of inconvenience for everybody. Wow. Okay. Well, I would think that person, whoever brought that plan to me, I would say, you're out of your fucking mind, right? I would say, walk me through this. We're going to make how many millions? And wait, what are we going to do? And we're going to send it to the mainstream media people, local media, for them to put out the fact that we are asking for a ransom. So therefore, we don't even have a chance to work just with the family to say, hey, leave the cops out of this. Give us this money and you can have, mom back. This is a stunt. This is a stunt, in my opinion. When you go to the media, right? What's the media going to do? Put it all out there. So this was done for the purposes to flood then. If they already did kill her, it was to get away with it then at that point, and let's just flood it and treat it like that it is a ransom, but it's really not. What's the end game? What's the purpose? Like, why'd you do this? So you either have money, which, iffy to me. Revenge. That's what I have. 1 and 2. Three is political. But what do you get out of it being political? That would go into like revenge, personal reasons. Like, again, you have to have the right motive in order to get the right person. What's the motive here?
Just for this, you're getting life. If she's found alive, you're going to get life. If she's found dead,
they say she is okay, and also that she's aware of the letter in the
sheriff switching things up. Nancy,
missing. Just 25 minutes later at 2:12 a.m., security software flags a person on a camera, but there's a problem.
At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops right and covers up.
Just 16 minutes after a person's detected
I don't believe that's how that happened, but that's fine.
at her house, the pacemaker app.
Your phone alerts you to things. Same thing with your system. So what I believe happened is that when you ran the results on running a search warrant, and you get like the download from it, it's going to show like an alert. And so I think that the alert said, motion detected. And if she doesn't have any pets, then the motion's a human. You know what I mean? So that's how I view that, but they can say it however.
Connected to her phone was disconnected. Makes sense because her phone was left behind. Now, Sunday morning, Nancy doesn't show up for church. Persons detected at her house. The pacemaker app connected to her phone was disconnected. Makes sense because her phone was.
What do you mean the pacemaker app was disconnected from her phone? Like your app, somebody went on there and disconnected, got on the app, used the password to get in and what do you mean disconnected it? That to me seems a little iffy. I think that it's more with the watch, but out of range and shit like that. I don't know.
Left behind. Now, Sunday morning, Nancy doesn't show up for church. Unusual for her. By noon Sunday, family members go in to check on her, and she's not there. And the police are called. Investigators say the case is now entering a critical forensic phase. They've also confirmed blood was found at the house, and they know who it belongs to.
I think you all know the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy.
They're reviewing surveillance video from nearby homes, cell tower data, and license.
And can you believe that nobody did a follow-up to that? Nobody said, well, I get that you said that there was blood that came back and it was a hit to her, but was there any unknown profile or any, mixture? I cannot believe that nobody asked that follow-up. Nobody came back with, so there was no mixture. There was no unknown male or female profile. Get them to say that there was no mixture on that. At the porch, at the entryway.
Plate cameras, but no Nancy. She lives in a remote Arizona desert community. License plate camera.
Wait, what's that?
They're reviewing surveillance video from nearby homes, cell tower data, and license plate cameras, but no Nancy. She lives in a remote Arizona desert community. Homes spaced far apart, surrounded by desert foliage. As for the ransom note, investigators haven't ruled out a hoax. There was a third ransom note, but it turned out to be fake, linked back to Derek Calleja. He demanded Bitcoin from the Guthries. One local news anchor whose station received a different note, the one that authorities are locked in on, says the details were terrifying.
A lot of it is.
Okay. Did you guys hear my live earlier this morning? Well, I should say earlier this morning, but right after the 12 o'clock hour. I said, wait, there was 2 demands within one letter, meaning that they have a deadline for today at 5, and then there was a deadline for Monday. And I said, well, that's actually really strange because that tells me one of 2 things. If you have a deadline today and a deadline Monday, here are my one of 2 things. You're asking for 2 separate payments. One's going to happen today. Okay. Or else, or hey, pay this in it, or blah, blah, blah. And then the other one's going to happen on Monday. Or if they're talking about disturbing, then it's like you can pay this amount of money on this day, okay, which is today, or else pay on Monday this amount of money, or else I'm going to mail you pieces of your mother, period. That's what I put out earlier. And I said, 2 different dates, 1 ransom letter, and you have 2 different deadlines. Well, what's the one deadline mean? And then when have you ever heard of another deadline? Like, what is the first deadline? Reach out to us by 5 p.m. today, like make contact with us, tell us that you want to talk, whatever. And then, okay, that's that deadline. Okay, you made that. And now you have until, but that's not disturbing to me. That's not disturbing. Like, you have till here to say that you want to fuck with us. And then, you have till this date. That's not disturbing. Disturbing to me would be, listen, you can either have her back on Thursday, X amount of dollars, or don't have her back. She's dead, but guess what? We're going to mail you her body parts. If you don't pay us then on the Monday.
Information that only someone who is holding her for ransom would know. Some very sensitive information and things that people who weren't there when she was taken captive would know.
Investigators say the letter included no proof of life and no way to contact whoever sent it.
There has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
Does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols?
No, it does not.
Harvey Levin at TMZ just spoke to CNN. He received the same ransom note. Here's what he said.
They began the letter. I don't think I'm giving anything away here. They began the letter by saying that that Nancy is okay but scared. So they say she is okay, and also that she's aware of the letter and the demands.
Time's of the essence. And
oh my God. Why has nobody talked about what the date and timestamp is that they received this letter?
Mistakes may have been made. Authorities initially cleared the scene, Nancy's house. Then yesterday, they went back in.
You had the crime scene process. You said you went back out there. Your reporters wanted to see it, but you guys were actively taking out evidence yesterday. Was there something you missed the first time, or did you get a new piece of information that led you to believe you needed to go back out and take more than you had that first day?
We may go out to a crime scene and think we got it all, go analyze evidence, and something comes back and says, hey, did you check this? We're not going to just say, oops, and not go. Absolutely. In this instance, it really was the FBI just wanted to go, hey, can we take a look at it?
The sheriff cleared the crime scene before the FBI even arrived and didn't have deputies posted at the house. Apparently, reporters were just strolling right up to the door and taking pictures of blood stains, contaminating the crime scene. We also aren't getting clear answers as to whether there were signs of forced entry. At first, sources told the AP it was forced entry. Now, the sheriff says this.
Wait, who said that there was forced entry, though? He's been the only person to talk. So everybody else that's getting their information, unless you're putting that person on camera, like, I cannot just believe that they're giving weight to people when they say, like, I have a source. Like, the amount of weight that's being applied to that type of shit is just astronaut. Like, it's just mind blowing to me.
Here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all. Whether it's forced entry or not forced entry, that is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information.
So the sheriff won't tell us whether there was forced entry or not. He probably has his reasons. If there was no forced entry, then someone knew how to get inside. Maybe somebody was already there when she was dropped off. We don't even know if Nancy locked her doors. She entered through the garage, and 2 minutes passed before the garage closed. Was someone laying in wait? We don't know. We spotted this last night. It's called a Celebrite device. High-tech equipment used to extract data from phones and computers. Agents brought it over to Savannah's sister's house yesterday. That's where the siblings recorded their emotional video. Was the FBI searching the Guthrie's family phones? Quite possible. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. It is incredibly rare to kidnap someone in their 80s. 0.2% of kidnappings are people of that age. If this was about money, why send ransom notes to TMZ? Why not go directly to the Guthrie family? And why not
That's what I said.
Include a way to contact them? Last night, the Guthries begged for answers.
We are ready to talk. However,
So this reach out to us. It could have said your deadline is to reach out to us by this day. And they're like, reach out to us. Like, well, how the fuck are we supposed to reach out? And they're like, what are we supposed to do? So maybe first part of the demand could have been this, but that to me wouldn't be disturbing. You know, I don't know. But then again, we can't put any weight into what the fuck these people say. You know, at this point, why not put out the ransom? You know, that tells me that they don't know who did it. If they knew who did it and they couldn't find the person, it doesn't fucking matter. Put it out. You don't know who did it. And you need somebody that's eventually going to possibly roll on somebody else to talk about it.
we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
At this point, the only thing keeping the family spirit up is hope.
I think it's great if they actually put in that hey, she's aware, she's alive, she's fine, she's just scared. Makes sense with what they were saying in the beginning, like, Mama, we're here, we're coming for you. All right, guys, that's going to conclude our coverage of the 5 p.m. deadline. Thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere and you choose to be here. You must enjoy it in some capacity. I don't go to places anywhere where I don't like what's being talked about, like the people in chat, or the topics. So thank you. And moderators, thank you so much. Members, as always. And remember, it is free to subscribe. So you just click that button. You just get notifications when, the program goes live. Well, until next time, guys, which could be, if this pops off here anytime soon, I will be going live. So we'll be keeping an eye on round the clock here. I just can't imagine putting out something that I did not know. If it would, like, I could never imagine doing that. I would need to know that my shit was like, dude, it's good, solid. Check your email. I will. I'm getting blown up over here. I got to go through all my stuff. All right. Till next time, guys. Good night. Be careful. Stay safe.